Switch my style up, watch the money pile up. I'ma get rich or die trying, want me switch lanes. I'm always getting better, I'ma be on 5th place. On this one, then 4 for the next. 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 4th, 5th. Give me all the
holy moly!
Big bang, and there it is, right on cue.
How's that? Left straight to Davis. How good was that?
We about to make them proud. We've got to make this count. Take the ball and raise it now. Make noise, you're crazy loud. It's all moment, let me hit.
Jake Tucker's taken off.
Outstanding. Glenunga certainly have a great
Soup, you're outstanding, man. Well done. Congratulations on the flat.
Oh,
a bin chicken.
Your 2024 premiers, the Port District Football Club. Congratulations, you legends. You are the best team.
Well, g'day footy fans, we're here at Sacred Heart College for the match of the day, of course round 12 of the Adelaide Footy League as well, where Sacred Heart Old Collegians are facing off against the Golden Grove Kookaburras, and really important matchup for both of these teams here. Of course it's 3rd versus 4th on the ladder, but very differing stories when it comes to these two sides when it comes to momentum. Sacred Heart Old Collegians, well, they started off the season 6-0, but in the last 5 weeks they're 2-3 and the wheels are starting to wobble a little bit. When you look at Golden Grove, well, they've got a very different story. They've won 4 on the trot, looking for 5 in a row here today and looking to break into the top 2. They've been really impressive since coming into Div 1 last season, and they're looking to continue on their merry way as finals gets a little bit closer. My name's Lewis McKenna. I will be joined by Phil Hurden later on in the call. Fantastic caller, Phil is, and looking forward to bring you all the action in that one. Well, a chance to thank all of our sponsors here as well today. High Five e-bikes, Classic Clashes, Archies, Dartfish, Custom by ORTC and Kimberley Accommodation Group. Thanks for watching Filming Footy. This is your Adelaide Footy League.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New Hyoketsu, vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Golden Grove, and as I mentioned before, a 3rd first fourth matchup. Really important for both of these sides to try and get a victory here today. Thank you for tuning in, of course, on Filming Footy live and free as well. And we see the ladder there, the implications this game's going to have for both of these sides as well. And I mentioned right there, the third and fourth spot on the ladder right now, and just one game separating them, but it must be said that Golden Grove have all the momentum. We'll talk about that when we have a look at their season so far, but Sacred Heart 8 wins, 3 losses, and a reasonably healthy percentage, but it must be said that if Golden Grove get the win today, they will jump them on the ladder. And we see Sacred Heart's outlook so far. You see the wins there. They started out 6-0. They lost their next 2, won a couple to get it back on track, but of course losing against top place Port District last week got them into a little bit of a tricky position as well, and certainly something to keep an eye on as this game goes on. It speaks to how important this game is. And Sacred Heart, they have a couple games coming up. The 3 of their next 4 games are against bottom 4 sides, so really important that they both get a win here today and get back into the picture, and really important for them. So my name's Lewis McKenna. I will be joined by Phil Herden as well for this call. Such a fantastic caller is Phil Herden. So we'll have a look at that, as we might have a look at the Golden Grove team outlook as well on their season. And of course, they got off to a little bit more of a tricky start when you compare them to Sacred Heart. They won their first game against Salisbury North, went on to lose their next 3, and that was including to Sacred Heart there in round 3. A couple wins to them as well, and they have stabilised a bit more. They've actually won 4 straight, so I believe it does say lost there coming last week to St. Peter's, but they did in fact win that one. So 4 wins in a row to Golden Grove, and they have all the momentum here at the moment. So really important that Golden Grove also try and get the win. They have a healthier percentage, as we mentioned before, looking at the ladder, and you see Sacred Heart there, their lineup, and a really strong team they put out in the park every other week. They've been in this Division 1 for a couple of years now, and a couple mainstays of their side, and a few ins as well. Hunter Window in, of course. He was, of course, a 2024 Sample Premier last year with the Glenelg Tigers, and Bradley Agnew into the game as well. So he'll come into this game here. He's had 4 bests so far this season. And of course, they've got some star players too. Kai Kenyon is one on debut. We talk about Golden Grove as well in their team lineup. Of course, led by Jake Pittman, the captain. Such a great player he is. Liam Verity, number 4. So 24 goals this season for Liam Verity. He is a late out of this one. So Callan Weaving comes into the game to take his spot. So Golden Grove lose a little bit up forward, but they do, of course, have the leading goal kicker in the competition in Lachlan Pascoe with 46 goals on the season, and well and truly leading the way. I think he's in front by about 20 goals or so. The previous meetings between these two sides, it was a 4-point win in round 3 to start at the start of this season to Sacred Heart, but plenty has happened since then. Now out by, of course, Sacred Heart losing big last week by 63 points. They're going to want to bounce back against this side, and you see the matchups when these two teams faced off last season, and they have a history of having close games. All 3 of those games, all 12 points or less. So we'll be hoping, of course, for any neutral footy fans out there that this stays nice and close. And you look at the fixture as well for round 12. So, of course, there's all of these games are being broadcast on Filming Footy live and free on YouTube as well. And if you, of course, you want to watch the match of the day, I don't blame you. Fantastic matchup between these two sides. But if you want to tune into any of the other games, you'll be able to find those being streamed as well. And some games that are going to be absolute barn burners. Broadview have a tough matchup against the top of the ladder, Port District as well. But our focus firmly on this one as well. And of course, I mentioned my name's Lewis McKenna, bringing you all the action. We do have the main man, Phil Herden, as well, and fantastic caller he is. He'll pop the cans on in a moment. There we are, Phil Herden. Of course, Lewis McKenna as well. And Phil, yes, it was a tight little run getting here, Phil. But you're here, and we thank you for joining us.
I do believe 35 seconds before the first siren. So tell me who's playing.
Well, we've got an absolute barn burner.
We have got
here.
a great game. These two teams are in some really good form. Truly the game of the day, thanks to Filming Footy. Just a heads up, you'll be taking most of it as I settle into who's who in the zoo this afternoon. But g'day, folks. Welcome.
Well, absolutely, and really important matchup. And see the two teams out there ready in the middle. Umpire holding the ball aloft. You got Golden Grove in the beautiful striking green, and of course in the blue and white. Sacred Heart Old Collegians in the ruck, gets knocked down inside. And Sacred Heart getting the clearance in the first inside 50 as it slowly dribbles towards, but Golden Grove get the clearance out, a little handball over the top. Ducking underneath, they do turn the ball over quickly and going back inside forward 50, 1-on-1 contest, just falls through hands. Glenn now on the floor, couldn't quite pick it up. Gets handballed out the back and Golden Grove need to get to work. Shenton, little chip and kick across, and it's a good kick in the end, marked by Hable. So, Golden Grove defence under pressure here to start. Sends a long 50-metre ball just out of their defensive 50. A big fist over the boundary line. So you see the straight boundaries here at Sacred Heart Old Collegians over here at Summerton Park. A beautiful day. Top of 17 degrees. Currently sitting at around 16 now. Not too much breeze to speak of. A little bit blowy in most directions as comes out the back and taken out of the ruck by Noble. Couldn't quite get too much distance on it, so goes long down the wing. Just batted away, and they're going to go back inside forward 50 here. Sacred Heart is just through hands, gets knocked down out the back there by Thatcher. They're going to go towards goal. On its way. Have they put it through? They have. Brilliant goal put through. Mark it down to Henry McAuliffe. Through for his first goal of the season, and you see the replay there. Brilliant work defensively, but they just all got sucked into the contest there, Phil. Golden Grove.
Yeah, give McAuliffe some space and make you pay. Spent some time with Glenelg. I think it's about his 4th season, maybe 5th season now at Sacred Heart Old Scholars. Originally his junior days with the Plimpton Bulldogs. Interesting form line coming in. Both sides have been in good form, although Sacred Heart went up to Largs last week and got a bit of a rude shock. They'll be looking for redemption. Golden Grove, a slow start to the season, but they are probably, outside of Port District, the hottest formed team in the comp.
Yeah, with 4 straight, absolutely they are, Phil, as they work their way on the outside through the hands of Xanthopoulos. Going to go inside forward 50 now. As they go close to the pocket. It's going to go close to the boundary and eventually does go over. So it's going to be hurled back in. In fact, it may have been out of bounds on the full, it looks like. So taking the kick is going to be Gluyas. And in fact, there's 2 Gluyas in the game. Darcy Gluyas, this is from the back line.
And Joe's joined the hit parade.
So it was given to him, but then the umpires actually said no, we're going to hurl it in instead. Gets handballed over the top. Golden Grove in a dangerous position, hacking around his body through the goals. They respond quickly. And it was a goal to Lachlan Pascoe, unsurprisingly. His 47th goal of the season, Phil.
Yeah, look, I'm not 100% sure what they give the leading goal kicker in Div 1, but whatever they give, they could probably give it to Lachlan Pascoe right now.
Yeah, just get it out of the way. Don't worry about all the paperwork at the end of the year. Just give it now, wipe your hands of it. But a really good response there, Phil, by Golden Grove. They responded very, very quickly, got it down inside their forward 50, were able to trap it in there for a minute or so, and a really solid response as well. So
the quick reply, exactly what was looked for by Golden Grove on the road. I can tell you from recent experience, it's a fair way down to Sacred Heart. Mine was at Salisbury North, but it is Golden Grove who will get the clearance, or will attempt to get the clearance. Glenn was in amongst that. Now it heads out to, that'd be Shenton. Can't miss that lock of hair anywhere. So it's inside 50. And that's a very good tackle made by Dewhurst. And stop the run of Connor Dodd right in his tracks. It'll be a ball up just inside the 50-metre arc for the Kookaburras.
Yeah, so they get to work now trying to respond again with another goal. They do find a bit of space in the pocket, snapping around his body. He's put it through for another one. Ripping goal there, just tucked against the boundary for Nick Collins. And he puts it through. So back-to-back goals in quick succession. And this is why this team is so fast. They're surging their way up the Div 1 ladder, Phil, and you see the replay here, just how quick they were able to move the ball by hand.
Well, it's only been, I think, their second season in Division 1, and last year they made the finals, lost to Payneham in the elimination. They certainly, well, they're in that group of 6. I think it is fair to say that it is a race in 6 now for the flag. Glenunga's in 7th, but they're 3 games back of the 5 with, I think, 7 games remaining. And if Salisbury North take care of them today up at Hawke Park, then I think Glenunga's finals hopes are done. And certainly for Princes and Payneham and certainly for Broadview,
yes,
they won't be playing finals in 25.
So underneath, Sacred Heart trying to respond. They got off to a quick start with the first goal of the game, but since then, all Golden Grove are still very early on in this one. It's been a fast-starting game. It's wrapped up underneath. The umpire is circling, but he says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. Around 60 metres out from Sacred Heart's goal. And as I mentioned, what was a very clear, beautiful day, Phil, starting to become a little overcast here.
It is a little bit. Doesn't seem to be a lot of wind, although I would say what is favouring would be the end that Golden Grove have it as they go forward again.
They go forward once again, now looking for a one-on-one contest over the back. I believe that was Pascoe leading up with the ball, but couldn't quite get there in time. And quickly set upon, and umpire's going to ball it up inside forward 50 once again for Golden Grove. Underneath the pack there was Harrison Boyle for Sacred Heart. Once again, knocking it down in front, but it wasn't really to anyone's advantage, so ripped through in a tackle and does get knocked free. So umpire says play on, able to move the ball out through hands. Shenton circling, the former Saint, flicking it around, and a little dribbling ball back towards forward 50, but quickly picked up there by Hildyard when he was tackled. It's going to be a free kick, so they play on quickly to Golden Grove, put it to the top of the square. Underneath trying to go to work, just a soccer on the ball was no good. Banwell there, trying to move the ball by hand now. A Sacred Heart. They go back towards the boundary line. Does it stay in? No, just goes over.
So a chance here. The old out of bounds on the full. And it's going to be Josh Hable. It all looks like he's going to take a shot. I guess if the breeze is sort of blowing north to south, he's half a chance. If he can, but he is right at that forward 50, so test of distance as well as accuracy. And in the end,
did all right.
Didn't miss by a lot. First behind. On the scoreboard, we have a scoreboard sponsor.
No scoreboard sponsor here
It's not
today.
the Kieran Hioketsu scoreboard.
No, we don't.
Other things?
We don't have one. But hey, a good segue into thank our sponsors as well. High Five e-bikes, classic clashes as well. Archie's Dartfish, custom by ORTC, and the Kimberley Accommodation Group doing a fantastic job.
And you brought the Archies.
Oh, we've got some Archies here, absolutely,
okay,
right
good.
behind us. So it was a bit of a to any avid watchers of the match of the day. Well, obviously we understand why you watch such a fantastic production, but you'd be used to the voice of Lockie Gould, but he's a bit crook today, so that's why they've brought in the big dogs.
Yes.
So
I think there was a barrel and they found someone at the bottom of it.
No, Phil Hurden, one of the best callers in South Australia. That's why he's here, and very honoured to sit next to him as well as Glenn, the former son. Moves it out through hand, out the back of the contest, inside forward 50. Beaten by a couple defenders there. He's almost double teams as it goes close to goal and eventually dribbles over through for a minor score. So the second behind there for Golden Grove. They now move to 2-2-14 to 1 straight 6.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, Lewis. Sitting with one of the up-and-coming commentators. Last time we were together was calling some AFL Masters games, which were interesting because no score is kept, no premiership points, no one wins, no one loses, you play, and I guess therefore everyone's a winner. Unlike this match where there is plenty at stake. Because
higher stakes for sure.
Indeed. Right now, Sacred Heart with Spock and Port District have that top 3. Golden Grove are just a game up behind. They can catch the leaders with a win here on the road, and they're certainly doing a lot of the attacking, a lot down that end of the ground at the moment, as that's Horskins who's made the kick, looking for Banwell. He's set upon straight away by Darcy Gliers. We'll have to emphasise that as we go through, and also Bradley Noble was in the vicinity. A ball up in front of some cricket nets. In fact, there's 2 pockets with cricket nets here, because we are at Sacred Heart, the senior school. It is school holidays, which means that the old scholars can get the oval back, which I'm sure they appreciate, as do the patrons who get to bring out the deck chairs and sit under some really big Moreton Bay figs.
Oh, I've seen some dogs come past as well. They're enjoying having the puppies out.
Just let me know if you see a parking inspector, and I might need to quickly
not confident
move
where you
something. Not particularly.
No, that's fine, Phil. I'm sure we'll be able to sort you out. As Golden Grove now moving the ball out through hand. Glenn once again, so he's had a bit of it early, as to be expected. Handball over the top. And it's a little bit of a foot race to the ball here. It's picked up underneath and handball over the top now, going inside forward 50. A little kick up to the lead is good. Just walking himself up to the foot. It was good body work to get into space and a chance to have a shot. on a little bit of an angle, 45 degrees. Once again, it's no surprise that this is Lachlan Pascoe. So Pascoe here, bit of an angle, only has to kick it from about 25 to 30 metres. As we mentioned before, not too much breeze to speak of. Just to keep his goal amount ticking over for the 2025 season. Converts on the third here for the Kookaburras. And his second already in this first quarter. We're only 10.5 minutes through, Phil.
Well, he's on track for a big day, Lachlan Pascoe, up to 48. I reckon, I'm not sure if we will ever have the experience of calling a 100-goal kicker at Div 1 level.
No.
It does happen at some of the lower levels where you have some really thumping results and someone bags 15 a day or something. But we may well today, Lewis, call Lachlan Pascoe kicking his 50th.
Well, I would have thought so with 48
48
to go.
And 3.5 quarters to go.
Absolutely.
As you can see, some of the crowd here, plenty of Golden Grove. I love the colours of being a Woodville West Torrens man, and I do like the way that Golden Grove do mix the colours. They're kind of tricky ones to do, but
Well,
I do like the way that they do their jumpers.
Celebrating with a beautiful Guernsey next week at home, so you'll be able to catch that Guernsey on Filming Footy.
I'll be there for that.
Yeah, so you're exciting to call that action. Striking Guernsey with an old collar on it as well, Phil.
A collar?
A collar.
Crikey.
Absolutely. Going back vintage. As it's ball's caught up here underneath, but once again Golden Grove just trying to surge the ball forward, but it is called holding the ball, so a little win there for Sacred Heart as a bit of push and shove there to try and get the ball back. So they just chip a ball corridor. They like to stay inside the centre square, and marks taken by Brinkworth. Looked to play on quickly, but wasn't able to use the ball effectively. It's going to go close to the boundary here and eventually trickles over. A few cries of holding the ball. An umpire's circling of few whistles going here, so not happy with some of the conversation go on as the umpire here is going to have a chat to the boundary. That just decides we're going to hurl it back in. So on the far side, Ruckman going at it, knocking it down in front. Underneath there and using the ball by hand, the Kookaburras flicking it out and going back down their other end of the ground is Cavallaro. Now back towards their forward 50, but we've got a bit of push and shove on the outer side here, Phil. A lot of feeling in this game early.
Yep.
As
We'll
we've
prove who's boss.
Slater now, a little too far out to score. Man on the mark is about 55 metres, so just pops one up to the top of the goal square. Players falling up at it, comes out the back, couldn't quite get it there, Pascoe, and there is a free kick paid.
Yeah, certainly had the full and undivided attention of the Sacred Heart defence.
Had about 4 hanging off him.
As soon as he touched it, he had a lot of friends. As the kick comes out, trying to make some decent position is Simon. Getting hands on it, though, is Francis. Shock trying to work it out. Bit of a turnover. No, they will work it out. Rapina onto Coe. Now the turnover. It sits with Pittman. Pittman with the threesome hands of Banwell. Not particularly pretty footy at the sec, but it does end up with Brinkworth. He'll calm the situation down, move it out, and spot up Francis on the half-back flank. The Westfield Marion pocket, if you know where sort of Sacred Heart is located, in the beautiful beachside suburb of Summerton Park. Off some hands. And there, going to be a free kick. It's going to go the way of Jackson Fox.
So looking to go back inside their forward 50. They kicked the first goal of the game, but 3 straight here to Golden Grove. Go inside now, it comes through hands and falls to the floor, but they are so good at moving the ball by hand, but a good smother there on the outer side by Brinkworth. Goes over the boundary line, so it's going to be hurled back in around 60 metres around here from Sacred Heart's goal. Much like their season, Sacred Heart off to the quick start, but starting to get a bit shaky here in this game, so they were wanting to stay close. Little hack around the body goes back inside forward 50. Recovered by the Kookaburras back line. Little chip ball over the top, and Habel's going to run onto it. Just has to balk his way through and snap around his body, but back into the lap of the old Collegians. Mark taken by Brinkworth, so been in the play the last minute or so.
Now Brinkworth has played 110 games, has not kicked a goal. I'm disappointed he didn't have a ping from 80 metres out.
I'll probably say it was about 100 outfill as they go inside forward 50.
Just make a note, if he ever looks like he's within range to get excited, going to have his first goal.
So a free kick's been paid here, and it's going to give a really solid opportunity here for Sacred Heart to try and convert on a goal, and it's going to be Henry McAuliffe trying to put through his second, so trying to match Lachlan Pascoe down the other end here, at least this afternoon. not too much angle to speak of or distance. He will only have to kick this from about 25 metres out.
Just aim for the bar and you'll be fine.
Beautiful ground here, of course, Sacred Heart here in the suburb of Somerton Park. Putting through a big goal and a bit of a stabiliser there for Sacred Heart. They put through their second. Now just trailing by 7 points. Really crucial goal there as we see the replay.
Yeah, I think like Sacred Heart have had 3, 4 inside 50s at most, and they've converted 2 goals. Golden Grove, most of the play down their end, are still leading narrowly on the scoreboard.
There's one of those puppies.
Yeah. What do we got there?
That's
I'm not too good with the little husky, yeah.
Yes, yep. I worked in the pet industry for many years.
I was about to say, okay,
yes, So
you are the more pet expert than myself.
Two of my areas of expertise here, Phil, footy and dogs.
And you live up, are you a Central supporter?
I'm not actually, I'm Port Magpies.
Oh, Port Magpies, okay, well, do. Okay, yeah, we will. Alrighty, throw up in the middle. Love the clearance from Golden Grove. Heading to, at the front and square was Agnew. Quickly out into some space. Not that there was anybody really there waiting for it. Instead pushed out of bounds. In front of those lovely, it looks like a bus shelter. The ones that they have here as the interchange.
Yeah, the cricket nets, yeah.
The cricket nets, but the little huts that they have.
Yes.
With that nice little curve thing.
Oh, for sure.
And we do thank all our sponsors for helping us with our Match Day live broadcast. Back in the van here, the Filming Footy Media Centre, as I like to call it. We've got James, we've got Darcy, pushing some buttons. James getting some of the great angles. I'm not sure who's above here. Eugene.
Yes.
With the main shot you're seeing right now near the Golden Grove goals. They're trying for a little bit of soccer, applying some pressure. But Agnew will get the clearance momentarily, perhaps. It is, because it sits with Dobie. Dobie from the arc of 50. I think there's a push. It was against Golden Grove. Agnew getting a few key defensive touches. We'll just find a teammate right on the goal line.
Bit of a shaky kick across goals. It's usually not the recommended style unless you're wide open.
Now, if you have a look at the bottom of your screen, we just saw Josh Glenn roaming around. He's got a Rick McCosker look about him. He's got the bandage from chin to the top of his head.
There you go. So he's absolutely strapped up, the former AFL player with the Gold Coast Suns. And eventually trickles out of bounds.
You're a footy fan.
Yes.
That game last night, was that good for football or what?
That was a brilliant game. It was an amazing game between Gold Coast and Collingwood. And I think all Gold Coast fans and anyone that doesn't support Collingwood
agreed.
gets knocked down in front. Sorry to any Pies fans watching. As we go back inside forward 50 here for the Kookaburras. Just about any time it goes inside that forward 50, you're thinking, where's number 24, Lachlan Pascoe?
Yeah,
he was around it,
yeah,
but it did dribble over the boundary line. So, umpire there to come back around and
that's where sometimes, I'm not saying it's happening just yet, but sometimes having a really good goal kicker can be a problem because you always look for them and the defence is able to adjust to that. It's usually better if you have a whole bunch that are kicking multiple, but here's Pascoe playing a bit of defence. Golden Grove can't quite make use of it though with Collins. His kick was partially smothered. And in the end, it ends up with Pascoe. He plays on. Not sure if that was a Golden Grove free. Must have been. And Pascoe has gone and he's passed the ball.
He has.
He says, my 50th can wait. I'm going to go to Banwell. He's got a really high percentage shot in front of goals. Love that.
So Banwell has 9 goals so far this season. Brilliant goal kicker so far, just chipping in. 9 seems like it does pale in comparison to 48 now, but
it's about one a game. Pretty reasonably regular contribution. Very gettable, but you got to get it, and he does. Nice work by Banwell. Goal number 1 for today, and I think you said that would be his 10th for the season.
Absolutely, it is, and got a really good look at that as well on the live call. Look at that, sitting right behind it. Brilliant work by Eugene up the top there. But just a fantastic look at that. Didn't really deviate too much. Goal umpire didn't have to put the sweats in at all. And an important goal. They just stabilise again, Golden Grove. They've looked a little cleaner with the ball to start this game, Phil.
One brave lad there in the polo shirt.
Hey, it's a balmy 16 degrees here compared to what we've had this week.
I was about to say, I was watching a bit of English cricket this morning, and it's probably about 16 degrees there, and they would have all had the polo shirts out. But I guess we're all used to different temperatures in different countries. Certainly one thing I'm noticing here, Lewis, is the Golden Grove are getting the clearances, and it looks like, well, they're about to get one, and Tupou McRae stepped in the way.
So inside forward 50 here once again for Sacred Heart. But just really coming straight back out. It's been the story of the first quarter. Shenton a little handball through. Gets it into the lap of Robinson, and they look to go inside their forward 50. They're just moving the ball by hand so effortlessly. A little chip ball over the top coming from Dobie. Couldn't quite get it to Pascoe, but he works his way around his opponent. Goes around onto his right foot. He puts through another one. What a ripping goal. 3 first quarter goals for Lachlan Pascoe. He just looks like a man playing against children.
Certainly there's a match-up issue for Sacred Heart right now. And, I mean, look at that. I mean, that's just one-on-one, won the battle, kick the goal. We've seen, the smother, the pass. He can mark it. He can certainly kick it from all sorts of different situations. That makes it a very hard person to match up on. That you've got to match physically and athletically.
Although he averages many goals a game, I think around about 4 goals a game, he's actually averaging 5.5 goals a game throughout this the last 6 weeks. So including a couple, I think there was a bag of 9, a bag of 7 in there as well, Phil.
Yeah, and he's probably picked up as Golden Grove have picked up as it's in theory. Josh Ingram had it momentarily until the umpire said it was touched. Ingram doesn't seem too distressed by it all. Right on the 50-metre arc. Off a Golden Grove leg. There's Ingram. He had it. He lost it. Shenton's got it. He is absolutely surrounded. Holding the ball is the call. And this will be another set shot. Going the way, I think, of McRae. AKA Snowy. I mean, if you need to know why he's called Snowy, can I suggest you get an eye test? A junior from, he's played with the clubs in this vicinity. Some time at the Tigers of Glenelg, with the Bombers of Brighton, and he likes the black and gold because his first club is where my lad played his junior footy, which is the mighty Vikings from up at Happy Valley. But certainly one of the legendary players here at Shock from 35. Ooh. And you give the guy a rap, and he kicks a footy like it's a stone. And conceded for the behind, which might be Shock's first behind today. I don't have a grip on the scoreboard, but I don't remember one from previous.
I believe you're right there. It just looked like a bit of a dead kick. His foot didn't go right the way through the ball. When his foot hit the ball, it was almost still at right angles. It just didn't extend through, and the reason it only grubbed about 25 metres, Phil. But anyway, Golden Grove get their way out, and can see right there in shot number 5 there for Golden Grove. Josh Glenn just caked away with tape all over his head early in this one as it goes close to the boundary line again and going to be hurled back in. So the ruckman will get another chance to go back at it. Of course, Div 1 Adelaide Footy League match of the day, and it's a good match so far. Going back inside forward 50 is McRae, trying to right the wrongs of before, and there's going to be a free kick paid. Chance to try and convert here for Harrison Francis. So he's come back into the fold here for Sacred Heart in the last couple of weeks. This is actually just his second game of the season after being in the Glenelg reserve side much of this year. So yet to kick a goal in season 2025 in the Adelaide Footy League. And this one fairly easy. Man on the mark stands at about 25 metres out, so he'll have to kick it all about 30. No real breeze to speak of. Just marches his way on in. Looks like he's not making the goal umpire do too much work, but maybe a little too much in the end. Doesn't quite get the distance here, so I don't know what's going on with that ball, Phil. Underneath.
The ball. It might be a stronger breeze than we think there is here, although you would think the gym structure would kind of shield it a little bit. But let's just say that's 2 in a row. Shots on goal you'd think would have the distance, no drama,
out.
That fell short. So, here comes your ball up. Shock clearance into the city pocket. And taken out of bounds by Jackson Fox. Big round of footy. We're up to round 12. If it was a hockey game at the end of ice hockey game, and today would be finishing our second period, 2/3 of the way through the minor round. Because that's a pretty good crumb and kick, which also misses. So right now, Sacred Heart getting a rare run of footy at this end of the field. There's Josh. Look at this, isn't that a great setup?
It's got almost like make it a bit longer and turn it into a bib.
That's it.
As it goes, big 60-metre ball down the line. Gets batted around through hands. Quickly tackled to the ground there was Jed Banwell working his way up the ground, the forward, and gets wrapped up in a tackle. So the umpire says, I'm going to ball it up here. Starting to come back into the game a little bit here, Sacred Heart. Once again in the action there is Beau McRae, or Snowy. And it's going to be balled up once again. A little bit more central this time. Neither ruckman able to get too much advantage there. McRae's there once again getting the handball out, but Banwell's got a little bit of room to get to work, go inside forward 50, try to put it into the lap of Pascoe. Look at him, just work like a bull through the contest. Handball out. Banwell's there again once again. Works his way around with speed. Eventually gets the handball down. Was maybe tackled without it after the play, but they're going to call play on, and now through Charlie Hilliard, Sacred Heart are able to move out of their defence.
Yeah, so I've got Golden Grove up by 20 points, 5 goals, 232. Sacred Heart 2 straight. That can't be correct because we've seen them score a couple of behinds since. So margin around about the 3 goals. I'm not sure because we have the scoreboard. It's a wonderful scoreboard here. It's just
next
can't see that's where we are. And that means we've got to keep it manually, which we haven't been doing. So Golden Grove go forward and free kick given away. So certainly Sacred Heart's defence has been a fair bit under siege. The inside 50 counts would be pretty one-way traffic. Agnew there. There's one lady. I think it's a lady there. She is absolutely rugged up. We'll have to go. You can not quite see her at the moment. It's with the captain. I've given a couple of archies to this man in recent games that I've called shock. He's just had performances that make him an undeniable winner. Out of bounds, centre wing, school side, eastern wing, call it what you like. Here at the beautiful Sacred Heart Senior School Oval. Quarter time shouldn't be too far away. There you go, 20 minutes. And it is 5-2-32 to 2-2-14.
The Sirens shouldn't be too far away, but 7 goals in the quarter. It's been fairly high scoring. Much of that coming through Golden Grove and quickly wrapped up in a tackle once again. So it's going to be balled up here on centre wing. So underneath, gets tapped down in front, quickly working their way out through hand there, Tyson Coe. And moved the ball by foot, and was a solid kick coming out there. So a little cleaner there by Shock. So Jackson Fox just bombs a long ball inside forward 50 into a dangerous position. Falling across the front, taking the mark was Charlie Hilliard. And he'll line up yet another one, but it's from this difficult 30-metre kind of distance.
The one that they have struggled with all day. Yep, Hilliard, another junior from the Brighton Bombers. I reckon half of this side has spent some time at Tigerland.
Yeah, he was an under-18 premier in 2022 with Glenelg. As there's the siren. So this will be a really good stabilising goal if Hilliard can put it through. He's kicked 4 in season 2025 so far. And this one really important just to bring it back to 2 goals. Sends it on its way, but just fades across through for a minor score. So we finish up with 2-3-15 to 5-2-32. The first goal of the first quarter was coming the way of Sacred Heart, but all Golden Grove since then really, Phil, and it's been a really strong showing from them. They've moved the ball far better through hands, and that's the reason why they're now up by 17 points. So that'll take us to quarter time. We're going to obviously throw to a little bit of an ad break. Thank you so much to our sponsors as well. We'll be right back with all the second quarter action.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New 氷結 Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep. Basically, since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
We're back here at Sacred Heart College, and really important match of the day here between two sides that are battling it out, third versus fourth on the ladder. My name's Lewis McKenna. I'm joined by the one and only Phil Herden, and really interesting first quarter there. It was the first goal of it going the way of Sacred Heart, and you see the coach just setting his side up for success. But 17-point lead at the moment for Golden Grove. Sacred Heart certainly aren't out of it, Phil, but they looked a little tidier there in the last few minutes.
No, it's not the biggest blowout, but it's not the closest game around the Adelaide Footy. I've got some quarter-time scores if you would like.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, this one's a dead-set shocker. Broadview, winless, hosting Port District, top of the table. Right now, it is 6-1 Broadview. So they kicked the first goal. Ross Trevor and Prince Alfred. Rocks 5-4-34, Prince Alfred 8 behinds. Of course, Rocks are chasing both Sacred Heart and Golden Grove, hoping to make up some ground on one of them today. Salisbury North really have a chance to end Glenunga's season and need to win this game to stay in touch with the top five. They're just a win out of it at the moment. They're 4-3-27, Glenunga 3-3-21. And this was the one that was going to be interesting for mine because there was a bit of movement at Payneham Norwood Union during the week. Jeremy Sini removed as coach. Ben Hunt, who up this time last week was coaching the Central District Sandford W side, which won but missed the finals, is now taking over for the rest of the season. How do the Falcons respond to that? Well, they kicked 1-7. So it sounds like they had a lot of the play. Spock kicked 2 goals too, and at St. Peter's College at Cotarovo by 1 point. So what do we got there? One massive surprise with Broadview. The rest pretty much running to script at the second.
Well, there you go. Phil Herden covering it all off as well. And you can, of course, you can go onto the Adelaide Footy League's page as well, and you can catch your wrap-up after every week as well, Phil.
Correct, the weekend wrap, about 4 o'clock every Sunday. There's a women's wrap and a men's wrap. We cover all 13 A-grade divisions. And I'll tell you what, there is every week, there's always something surprising. Usually I find there's usually one big surprise in every division.
Absolutely there is, and not too many surprises coming out of this first quarter just yet. Of course, Shock sitting third on the ladder and Golden Grove in fourth, but that doesn't paint the full picture here, Phil. These two sides, we mentioned it before, Sacred Heart starting the season 6-0. Just absolutely dream. Looked like they were just about locking away a final spot early on, and they have just about still locked away that final spot, but they have got a bit wobbly here as the season's rolled on a little bit further. 2-3 in their last 5. Golden Grove 4 on the trot.
Yeah, and the last time they met was at Harpers Field, and actually Golden Grove led at every break except the last one. Sacred Heart kicked 5-1. So Sacred Heart would be hoping for something similar here because they are trailing as we start the second quarter with Lewis McKenna.
So in and under once again, getting the handball out was Glenn, but quickly taken down in a tackle, but maybe called for a push in the back. They wobble a ball inside forward 50. I'm starting to wonder if anything's wrong with this ball because it was a grubber. And they move the ball by hand now. Sanderson to the outer side, and once again a bit of a grubber. Falls out and out the back of the pack, moving the ball by hand. A little chipping ball around his body. So in the end it's good and it's marked underneath there by Cavallaro. Going long down, a solid mark taken there by Pilkington.
The number 63 jumper on today. Don't see too many of those at A-grade level.
Going inside forward 50. Good roving down in front. Trying to snap around there was Nick Collins. Now ball in dispute. Comes out the back. Moving the ball out through hand. They retreat back outside. But good pressure there by Sacred Heart. A couple back-to-back smothers. Picked up once again by the Kookaburras. Just keep having to retreat to go forward here, Phil. They go inside forward 50. Just pop a long high ball out in front and hope their forwards could do the rest of the work as eventually it trickles over the boundary line.
Yeah, they got their hands on the footy a couple of times, Golden Grove, but couldn't find the clear space or passage to kick it with a deep penetrating kick inside forward 50. Instead, we've got the throw in front of the beautiful Moreton Bay Figs that align the eastern side of this ground. And, gee, I hope there was a football there because Jake Pittman was, it almost looked like a UFC. His hand was thumping up and down. I assume that was on the football, not on his opponent because it was plain for all to see. And now, there is a reversal as, who's 26? That's Joe!
Yes.
A late inclusion. Joe Glias returning the favour. And at the moment, it's a tackling show.
It is not real lot happening here at the moment, but credit, before obviously Golden Grove trying to work hard to go inside their forward 50, credit to Sacred Heart and their defensive pressure and stopping them. And again, it's underneath. The umpire's going to circle back around. It's Pittman in there once again. He's got to be a bit sore after the first minute and a half of this second quarter. He's been tackled and has tackled numerous times. A little hacking ball out there by Brinkworth. Just trundles the ball up the wing. Nearly ripped away by the Kookaburras. No player able to get any clean possession of the ball as Simons is there trying to rip it away.
I think both teams have been revved up by their respective coaches at the quarter-time break and are going in hard at the moment. The pressure meter, what do they call it? The pressure rate or whatever, going to be pretty high. And the umpire comes in to sort out a free kick.
Like maybe a little bit of an arm chop there, Phil, as Kookaburras are going to go back in.
Pilkington. Similar haircut to what I had this morning. Short backsides. Room for growth, I think you might say. As it's with Dewhurst, who's taken a key mark at centre half-back, waits for the run of Brinkworth. I reckon they've done that quite a few times, those two. But Shenton, the erstwhile defender from the Redlegs via the Suns, now the Kookaburras to another former Redleg and Josh Glenn. Of course, Golden Grove, a lot of their their club is in the Norwood zone, and you often see their players with either Norwood or Central District, given it's reasonably close to the border.
Yes, of course. Josh Glenn, also a former Williston Donnybrook.
Oh, the good old Donnybrooks. Doesn't mind a Donnybrook too, I might add, Josh.
So hurling it in here, around 30 metres around from goal here for the Kookaburras. They're underneath there trying to move the ball out through hand. It was McRae, wrapped up in a tackle and not really going anywhere. The umpire giving it a few seconds just to see if he could get out, but wrapped up. So he's going to ball it up right here close to the boundary broadcast side.
Got quite a few fans sitting in front of us, getting a close-up look at all the action here, including Collins, who did very well to get the hand pass out. A lot of players around him. Should mean some spare Kookaburras on the outside, and in the end, McRae is wrapped up. We'll have another stoppage. This, I think, will be a ball up, so expect to see the umpire get the ball and bring it back inboards a bit.
So he does exactly that, Phil. Knocks it down in front. Quick hands out there by Pittman as Golden Grove go back inside forward 50. Couldn't quite take the mark Diving down at it there was Sanderson and just gets escorted over the boundary line very kindly. So, boundary umpire doing a brilliant job as well, the youngster, it must be said.
Yeah.
Look at that action, just fantastic. There's a reason why he's doing Div 1 footy.
I was about to say, no pressure on him, but umpire manager Colin Ralston is here. I think he did the B grade. In fact, I think I recognise a Ralston on the field right now. I might have to check that. So yeah, no pressure, but the boss is watching.
Now Glenn moves the ball out through hand, nearly into the umpire, right on cue.
Well done.
They send a long ball inside forward 50, maybe just shoved underneath it, but umpire says play on, and they're going to chip the ball out wide. Mark taken by Bowen Payne. Just goes laterally all the way out to the outer side and just stops props and works out where he's going to go next.
Last goal's been a while.
Yeah, it has been quite some time. So they chip the ball right across once again. And all the way out to the broadcast side, through the hands of Hildyard. Gets intercepted and they look to go to work. Well done there underneath by Cullen Weaving on debut.
He did exactly that. Very well. Couldn't find Glenn though. This is a chance for Sacred Heart. Agnew gets it and just puts the boot into the ball. It's inside Sacred Heart's forward 50. I reckon for the first time today. Shenton. I mean, look, if you're going to score against Golden Grove, you've got to work a way of getting the ball, getting Shenton as far away from the ball as you can. Because if not, he'll mop it up. Right on cue, there he is. Down the white terrace end here. And yes, just starting to play a little bit more keepings off. I mean, a low-scoring quarter favours Golden Grove because we sort of think Sacred Heart have what there is of the breeze in this quarter. Simon's kick, how many is that? 7, 8 possessions in a row now to Golden Grove. They'll bring it down the wing, looking for Slater, and that ends the streak at about 9, I reckon, as Sanderson comes in and puts a stop to all that nonsense.
It's getting a little boring here, and they're right on cue. A good smother. Eventually trickles over the boundary line, so they're going to hurl it back in right near the benches. So, yeah, you're right, Phil. It's they've got their way back into the contest, Sacred Heart, through a lot of pressure, but just not really reaping the rewards of it just yet. It's knocked down in front, and Glenn's there underneath. And quickly jumps on the back of an opponent. They're going to ball it back up. That was Hildyard. So Ruckman once again getting knocked down by Noble. Moving the ball out through hand. Hildyard has a couple attempts at it, wrapped up in a tackle by Josh Dobie.
Mentioned the umpires. 3 field umpires today. Liam Binning, Frank Manicus and Cody Ralston. Which is great to see. I'll give you the boundary and goals in a sec.
Well, they do a brilliant job, the umpires, as Hildyard moves the ball through hand. And they look to kick the ball laterally, put his teammate under a bit of pressure, but Bowen Payne now has a bit of room to work. Takes a couple bounces, surging his way inside forward 50. Has to stop and prop himself and tried to put a ball into the lap of a teammate there in Kelton. He's wrapped up in a tackle quickly, but Sacred Heart, good ball movement.
Yep, I like the dash and the bounce. Cameron Goulding and Crosby Simmons are your boundary umpires, just the goal umpires to come.
So once again underneath, getting knocked down, and Kookaburra's having to try and hack a ball out through Jed Bamwell. He's now loses the ball and forced to jump on top and wrap up a tackle.
And to round it out, our goal umpires, it's Chris and Chris. Chris Adey and Chris May.
Brilliant job, the umpires here. So about 55 metres out from the Kookaburra's goal. They haven't had, in fact, Sacred Heart's goal, I should say. They haven't had too many inside 50s here, as I mentioned, but very high pressure. So once again, balling it up in this same position. It's been locked in at the last minute or so. Ball spills out the back, but really not to anyone's advantage. Wrapped up in a tackle quickly. Eventually gets a, if you want to call it a handball, we'll call it a handball. Got it out. But once again, another stoppage.
I mean, it's one thing I don't really like about the game, that Josh Dobie really worked hard. He got possession, and sure enough, as soon as he got possession, he was set upon and had to get rid of it. Which does sort of give a bit of encouragement not to be the first to the ball. But anyway, It ends up with Banwell. He gets it off to Hawkins. Hawkins will move it down the outer side pretty well. We've almost got carnage in the deck chairs. And that's because it was out of bounds on the full. Dewhurst will take over. Looks like everybody in the deck chairs is back and settled again, which is good.
No one lost their seat, Phil.
Or had their glasses drop or anything. Look at that for a pack. And in the end, they all misread it. Then Simon at the back has it. He's looking to move it laterally. You can see there to Xanthopoulos. Did you practice that during the week?
Oh, that's fine. I think as you would know, call some interesting ones.
I had one for Glenunga today of Carla Vasitas. Is always a bit of a funny one for mine. Anyway, he's not here, so don't have to worry about it. Banwell back to Pittman. Pittman bouncing ball. Pascoe charges at it. Another pass. This one to Glenn. Oh, and a huge collision between Darcy Gluyas and the Sacred Heart goalpost. Gluyas is fine. The goalpost looks a bit shaky, but I think it'll be all right. And that's a goal.
Oh, what a goal there for Josh Glenn.
Watch this.
The poor fella. Wow. You'd want to almost go off for a HIA after that, I think. Just headbutting the goalpost. Lucky for that padding there.
I was about to say, lucky. I mean, that's private school padding we're talking about.
Yeah, that's right. You get 3-ply padding here at Sacred Heart. So he should be fine. But more importantly, a goal to Josh Glenn. Of course, all South Australian football fans should know all about Josh Glenn and what he can do. And really important goal. The first goal of the second quarter.
Yep. Going against what we thought is sort of the way the wind's going. And Pascoe's got 2 assists to go with his 2 goals because he was on the charge at that ball well.
3 goals for Pascoe.
Well, three goals kicked, two goal assists.
Yes.
So he is absolutely in the thick of it for Golden Grove scoring. Sacred Heart trying the quick response. Tackles made. Brentworth, it wasn't Brentworth, it was thank you, Will McAuliffe, one of the newer players. I had to come up with a roster pretty quickly, so I've come up with the one that they used about 2 games ago when I last come. So this is another McAuliffe. We've got Will and Henry.
Oh, so no, actually that's Harrison
Francis.
Sorry,
my
I've thrown
apologies.
you under the bus
That's
there.
all right. That's fine. I'm sure I will do the same unintentionally during the haven't already. So it looks a gettable goal. First to Sacred Heart for some time. They have 3. And a reasonably quick answer to the goal from Josh Glenn earlier. On the scoreboard, it is Golden Grove 6-2-38, Sacred Heart 3-3-21. The margin back to 17 points.
We see the replay there. Once again, the brilliant camera work by Eugene up the top there and able to sit right behind it. Didn't give the goal umpire too much work to do there. Just popped it straight over his hat. And an important goal there for Sacred Heart. Really important. And Golden Grove coaches there on the bench won't be too panicked with what they've seen so far. They'll be pretty happy, of course, with the first quarter. And, of course, that work by Pascoe and Glenn earlier to get the goal. So back in the middle. Banwell charging through, maybe collected a bit of the head, but they look to go back inside forward 50. They pop it in front of Glenn, 1-on-1.
Good luck. Good luck winning that one on battle against. I mean, Dewhurst is a pretty experienced defender, and I want to quickly call out Nick Collins, who was the player who had the clearance to set up that kick. Well positioned and gave Glenn every opportunity to kick a goal from it.
So Josh Glenn, he'll roll in on the left foot, puts it all through it, kicks his second of this second quarter as well, it must be said. And a really important one as they continue to march on now. Their second goal of the quarter. Right behind it there, Josh Glenn, just a fantastic football player. He's done it in many, many leagues. Of course, Samful level, AFL level. He's played in the Barossa Light and Gawler League as well a few years back, and of course now Div 1 Adelaide Footy League.
Just having a look around. What's happening elsewhere? Well, this will be scores through the second quarter. Port District leading Broadview 27-18, 9-point margin. Ross Trevor over Princes by 25. Salisbury North over Glenunga by 7, and Spock over Paynham by 15. So, bar maybe Rocks and Princes, all of those pretty close, within a couple of goals.
So we've got a 25 here as well, going the way of Beau McRae. So right out of the centre circle, he goes inside forward 50 at the lead. just over the outstretched hands there of Francis. They do still have the ball and they have to hack around their body close to goal. Is this going to go through? I think that's bounced through. He's got it there. Ripping goal put through. Just have a look and see who that was there. Unfortunately, he was tucked up against the far side boundary.
I'll watch who they're celebrating.
I believe that was Jackson Fox there. Yeah. So brilliant work on the boundary line here. We see the replay right on cue. Just had the ball for about half a second there, Phil, and was able to snap it through. I think it just carried the goal line in the end. So brilliant work and a really fast response here for Sacred Heart.
Yeah, from my notes here, Jackson Fox is a bit of a mystery man. He has played for Sacred Heart Old Collegian since 2022, and there's no record of his existence and play HQ before that.
I'm sure he played footy before that.
I'm pretty sure you don't just turn up to shock training and play.
Yes.
A grade.
No, who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Come out of the shadows.
Witness protection? Who knows?
So, straight out of the middle once again, Pittman in his 150th game, I was told
well
before
done.
as well.
Yep.
So 150th senior game that is, but turning the ball over. Darcy Gluyas going inside and Sacred Heart get another opportunity.
Another 50 games, that, you know, probably encompasses the golden era of the club, although, gee, there's a couple of players that went down after that, and that's going to lead to a little bit of a discussion. Down on his haunches is Dobie. He's up. I reckon he might have possibly been the infringer, but anyway, it's with Francis. It certainly hasn't been taken off of shock, and it's important for them because this could be back-to-back goals for the first time today, and they're not going to get back in this contest unless they get back-to-back goals on a few occasions. Like that! No problem for Harry Francis. His first today. Sacred Heart for mine now have 4. And just edge that little bit closer.
Brilliant work there from Harrison
I might
Francis.
have missed one.
Yeah, I think he has got 2 there. It's been a little bit of a messy afternoon here, but we're doing a fantastic job. We're having fun as well. And is that Jason Horn-Francis there in the background? I just caught Jason Horn-Francis? We've got all the stars here watching.
Oh dear, we should get him in for special comments. Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, absolutely. We were eagle-eyed on the vision there as well. Maybe a strategic camera placement there on one of the stars of the AFL.
I could just imagine the Victorian media saying he's going to quit cricket and go and play for Sacred Heart.
So, wrapped up in a tackle there, the captain, Jake Pittman.
That does pose a bit of a question. I mean, we've got a game to call. We might do that. I'll come back to my question in a second. So, looking for Pascoe. Shouldn't be distracted when he's near the footy. Same with Glenn. Back to Pascoe. Kick around, a bouncing kick. Someone's got to touch it. Simmons did. So you're a professional footballer. You're playing on Sunday at home. So what do you do Saturday?
Yeah.
Go and watch some other footy.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant footy as well here at Sacred Heart. As little tap there away. Just struggling here to get it out of the defence. Watch Pascoe just push him over the boundary line. And it is called there for holding the ball. So,
wow.
So
he is a man possessed today.
He is, and he's just about every chance of putting this through. Pascoe, we mentioned before, he's averaging 5.5 goals per game in his last 6 weeks.
He's going to kick this from the Moreton Bay Fig, from the roots.
So he's standing on the roots, on a little bit of a decline, so he has to move his way down the roots on his way. Has to kick this about 40 metres, so it's not going to get there, right in the middle of the goal square, and eventually punch through comfortably by Dewhurst.
That's a heck of a concession, I might add, from about 10 metres out. Now finds its way to Hunter Window, who went left, decided to go right, and that has missed the fairway. And in the rough, to use a golfing analogy, we'll be with Jake Pittman.
Played around at Tanunda Golf Club yesterday, and that is the story of my day.
I was about to say. Was it a day of highlights or lowlights for you?
No, that's hey, opposite to footy, it was where we were trying to shoot a low score. I was 116 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So you cracked the ton.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Not the intention.
Not the intention.
Okay.
Had fun doing it. Shenton couldn't quite get into his lap, so it gets knocked out of bounds.
So throw in. How do we go? Almost time on. Golden Grove would be happy with this, that they've pretty much maintained their quarter time lead. I think they've kicked. Both sides have kicked 2 goals. It was 5 goals to 3 at the quarter time break. it serves me right. Yeah, 5 goals 2 to 2 goals 3. So
2 goals to Golden Grove, 3 for Sacred Heart.
Okay, so Sacred Heart are winning the quarter. 13 points is your margin. Golden Grove have it with Slater, sorry. Pilkington on the half forward flank. Looking for a fly from the back. Some aerial ping pong. And there's Pascoe to lay a tackle. Who's the poor side at the bottom of that? That's Joe Gluyas. I'm not sure if it's his first Adelaide Footy League A grade game. I'll find out. There's an infringement and it's going the way of Noble.
It is Kai Kenyon's first as well, number 3 for the Shockers. So, one to
so
keep
what's
an eye on.
Harry Boyle wearing now? Is he a laid out?
I believe he was a late out in this one. So
I was surprised he was an in because the Crows would. He's a very regular player for the Crows Sandford side.
So Golden Grove didn't get a handball away there, and the umpire was hot onto it. So the Shockers move the ball around now through Rapuna, going inside forward 50, out the back and falling. Had to just trace the ball mid-air and took it behind his back, Kane Horskins.
Good news for Sacred Heart. They have already outscored what they did last week at Larks. They've kicked 4-3. Sacred Heart, or 5-3. Last week was just 3-7.
So another boundary throw in. Only down by 13 now, the Shockers. So although they were out to a decent margin, Golden Grove, they kicked the first of the second quarter after taking a 17-point advantage into quarter time. They have swung the momentum a little bit as wrapped up in the tackle there is Josh Doby.
Shootout for Kenyon. This is his first league game.
There we go. So
played about 38 reserves games played some C's in 23 and reserves in 23. 20 reserves games last year, the first 10 this year. Getting a run at the Ace for the first time. Travel well.
Oh, and a big dumping tackle there laid by the captain, Jake Pittman, and he looked surprised, but that looked pretty clear cut to me that it was a little bit of a slinging motion, and it gives Henry McAuliffe here an opportunity. So he has already kicked 1 so far here this afternoon, 10 goals already on the season. So this will take a bit here, Phil. He has to kick this, I think. On the mark there, Jake Pittman's standing at about 47 metres. We are a little further away from this end of the ground, or maybe a little further, so 45 metres. Has to kick this just inside the paint of 50, sends it on its way. It's fading right and finishes right through for a minor score. So, but they are coming, the Shockers.
Yeah, into a straight 2-goal game at the moment. Just bringing up Mr. Joe Gluyas. He's played 253 games in his career, including Plimpton and Sacred Heart Old Collegians. Let's see if I can find any A-grade games for him in a moment. I'll tell you what, for a guy who is 63, Dylan Pilkington is getting a fair bit of the footy. Of course, it's a little bit. I remember one of my favourite players used to play for Woodville West Torrens called Justin Sikalola, and he would always wear 51. And when it was time to get a jumper promotion, he didn't want one. Sean Wren was always 52 as well, wherever he played. So I guess sometimes you get that high number and you think, well, it makes me unique, I'm going to stick with it.
Make it your own.
Meanwhile, here comes Shock with the ball, courtesy of Hilliard. Is the key kick, gives Simons a task by the cricket nets, and he is escorted out of bounds. Oh, it is Simons escorted out of bounds. Will be a throw in. Look, a goal here to Shock will make it a 1-goal footy game.
Absolutely. Haven't been poor Golden Grove here in the second quarter. It's been a high pressure game. It started out heavy stoppages as well as it gets knocked down through Shenton. Moves the ball by hand out to Glenn. Now out the back of the pack, but really nowhere to go. So have to handball over the top, and Glenn now. He's had the strapping. He must have lost it. It was annoying him. Flicks it over the captain and Pittman. They work their way through the middle of the ground. Wrapped up quickly in a tackle there underneath was Simon, but he was able to trickle it out, and Golden Grove still have the ball. Through their captain now, going back inside forward 50. Out the back, good mark taken by Mitchell Slater. good body work just half a second before that ball arrived. And it'll give him an opportunity to convert. He'll have to kick it about 45.
Yeah, when you've got Pascoe, you've got this guy, you've got Glenn as well. There's some really strong markers to try and contend with that know how to use their bodies to effect. And really, that wasn't Harry Ball, that was the new kid, wasn't it? And Kai Kenyon, no chances. That has gone slightly awry further behind.
So another minor score, but more positive ball movement there from Golden Grove. They've struggled to move the ball as efficiently as they did in the first quarter, and it tends to happen as the bodies get a little more tired. Good mark taken there with some opposition closing by Ethan Moore. So goes long down the line, a high ball, pack forming and dumped over the boundary line.
I'm sure memories of what happened in round 3, I mentioned it earlier, where Sacred Heart basically ran them down in the final quarter and emerged with a 4-point win, would be fresh in their minds. And would not be getting too far ahead of themselves here, the Kookaburras. Payne got the hand pass and got the kick forward. And we're just going to sit on that at the 25-minute mark. 20 minutes plus time on is the timing regulations here. The ball up into some space. Lovely pick up and kick around. Well, by window, only as far though as Lance Simon, who will direct a little bit of traffic. Thought about going across and decides he's going to go with, well, sort of the high percentage play. Well, it's always high percentage when you look for Cam Shenton.
Shenton. Brilliant player is Cam Shenton. 24 games for St Kilda. Just sends a high ball down the line. And plenty of players around. This ripping grab right on the siren. Won't mean too much for the contest, but what a grab over the top there. Pulling that down there was Kane Blades. But that brings us to half-time. Really intriguing contest. A 13-point advantage here for Golden Grove here at Sacred Heart College, and really entertaining first half. We're going to go to a break. We've got all the ads coming up right here for you. Thank you to all our sponsors as well. Lewis McKenna, Phil Hurd, and second half action coming right up.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New 氷結 Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New 氷結 Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes!
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
It's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HEC stat doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Welcome back here, Sacred Heart Old Collegians hosting Golden Grove for the match of the day, and it has already proved to be quite a good match. My name's Lewis McKenna, joined by Phil Hurd, and what's been a really entertaining matchup between these two sides. Ebbing and flowing momentum, but ultimately Golden Grove take a 13-point advantage here into the second half. Phil, what have you thought so far?
A game that could go either way still. I think Golden Grove would have wanted to be in front. Sacred Heart have shown that they can kick some goals. Probably prefer to be in Golden Grove's position. You always want to have the runs on the board, but if they've got the breeze this quarter, I think they want to show, I don't know, probably 4 goals in front. Yeah, coming from home, given what Sacred Heart did to them last time.
Absolutely, and some of the goal scorers so far, so I think we've got them all covered here as well.
I ticked them off, yes.
Yes, I think we've got them all covered. So Jed Banwell had a goal for Golden Grove there as well. Josh Glenn, 2 second quarter goals there. I think he had the only 2 goals for Golden Grove there in that second quarter. Phil, 3 for Lockie Pascoe, all coming in the first quarter, it must be said as well. And Nick Collins chipping in with a goal. Now, I don't think I've got all of the Sacred Heart goal kickers marked down here, Phil.
I got 5.
I'm missing 1 here. So I've got 2 for Harrison Francis, 1 for Henry McAuliffe, and 1 for Jackson Fox. Am I missing one there?
Henry McAuliffe's got 2.
Henry McAuliffe's got 2, yeah.
Gary Francis has 2. Jackson Fox has 1.
I'm missing 1 for Henry McAuliffe.
Just checking, Sacred Heart have kicked 5. Just some scores around the other grounds, pretty similar to what we gave you just before half time. They're all on the same time slot. Port District 6-5-41. Broadview, I called Broadview 1 week this year, they kicked 321. Well, today they're 3 straight, so they've improved in that regard. But Port District have a 23-point buffer. Ross Trevor Old Collegian 6-7-43. Princes 2-4-16. 27-point lead to Rocks. Salisbury North 7-7-49. Glenunga pretty much last shot at the bar for them if they want to play finals. They're 5-3-33, so 16 points. And Spock 5-7-37 lead Panem 2-8-20. So Spock by 17, Salisbury North by 16, this game by 13, and then a couple just over the 20-point mark. So nothing over 5 goals at the half-time point, which means every team's in range of a big comeback.
Well, that's it. It's an even kind of competition that we have here, which is brilliant, and it makes for good footy as well. And thanks to talk about our sponsors as well. Brilliant job helping us bring this game to your eyes and ears. And High Five e-Bike's doing a brilliant job. I believe the player of the season will actually walk away with a High Five e-Bike, Phil.
I'd love one of those.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
those big hills.
Classic clashes, Archie's thongs, and of course a pair of Archie's thongs going to the player of the game here as well.
Yeah, we got to work that out, don't we?
Yes, so I believe you're actually going out to interview them, Phil. So
oh, am I? Okay.
Yeah, obviously, if you've just joined us, Phil was here right on the first siren, so he's got a bit of a gig for him that's been sprung on him. So that's 8. That's what's on the run sheet.
I've been everywhere else today. Why not on the ground? Okay.
So Dartfish as well, of course, custom by ORTC, and we're both wearing our custom by ORTC hoodies here as well. So
very warm.
Yeah, very warm, keeping us warm. Kimberley Accommodation Group. And the weather here at the moment as well, it's at the start of the game it was 16 degrees. I think it has cooled a couple of degrees now. Top of 17 here.
I just need your help. Okay, so we have the Archies and the Belgravia Apparel prize for the best on ground.
Yes.
What other ones do we have?
Look, mate, your guess is as good as mine, but we'll
that's
find out at the end of the game. We're
gonna
chat to our guys at 3/4 time. We'll make sure we'll get the awards out to the right people. But the main point is, Phil, we're having a lot of fun here, and
we are.
We're enjoying each other's company and commentating a great game of football. Big round of footy, and if you have just joined us, 3rd versus 4th, it doesn't get much more important than this. It's almost a final before a final, and. Really, especially with a healthy percentage, if Golden Grove are able to hang on here and get a win, then looking at the other results around the league, then they may be able to find themselves up in 2nd spot at worst.
Which would set up a top of the table clash next week because they host Port District at Harpers Field. But right now, a game to decide here, and to get us underway, you're with Lewis McKenna.
So underneath, moving the ball out through hand is Ethan Moore, and they work well, but they chip a little ball over, and it wasn't really to anyone's advantage, but they stay with it to the Shockers, go inside forward 50, but it was a bit of a dodgy kick. Just thought about playing on, eventually does Aidan Thatcher. Long down the line, it was a 1-on-2 in favour of Sacred Heart, so wrapped up in a tackle. Spills out the back here, and running onto it once again was Ethan Moore, but he's wrapped up in a tackle. Eventually got it out, but just after the whistle.
reasonably low scoring contest. It is a beautiful day here in Adelaide. There's very little wind. We haven't had any rain. I don't think we've had any rain down here for most of the day. The ground, as expected, is beautifully manicured. So no real excuse for poor skills. It's just all about the pressure, and there's been plenty of that. So it sits with that is, I think he's playing his maybe 4th game, Reggie Rupana, who comes from Rupina, which may shock you, Lewis, but Rupina, their nickname, are the Roos.
Well, there you go. That's
surprise, surprise. As Glenn has it, manages to avoid a couple, has Pittman in support. They try and cross it over to where there's a little bit of blue coming in to run interference. Oh, very well done by Xanthopoulos. Just as Sacred Heart thought they were away, he stuck a hand out and almost like a basketball steal that was, except it didn't bounce back up for him and we got a stoppage. But nicely done.
So a ball up here on the outer side. No real clean possession, hacked out of the air by Cavallaro, but they do get the mark through Banwell. Just tries to chip the ball into the corridor. Had Glenn there, and it does beat all. Glenn just thumps the ball away, but smothered inside. Ripping a ball out was Shenton, and he has a chance to roll inside forward 50. Has his key forward out in front of him. He takes another mark. Lachlan Pascoe once again have a chance to convert on his 4th and his first here of the second half.
You just saw the 3 experienced playmakers all in that, Glenn. Then Shenton in the backup, and Pascoe maybe with the finish. And look at that, he had 2. They all lost their footing. He just picked it up and sauntered off and put a kick right on point for Pascoe. Now the chance to kick the first goal of the 3rd quarter.
And this would be his 50th goal of the season. He gets it there. 5-0, raised the bat, Lachlan Pascoe on the season. His 4th of this one this afternoon, and he is absolutely feeling it. You mentioned in the second quarter he's a man on a mission, Phil.
Yep, that's your more standard forward play, but if you have joined us fairly late, he's had a smother that led to a turnover, that led to a goal. He's had a bit where he got a ball deep in the pocket, he had a pinpoint pass to a better player in position who kicked the goal. He had a couple of assists where he charged down a loose ball and passed it to Glenn, who scored. So he's been busy, involved in I think 7 of those goals. So Golden Grove only kicked 8.
He had a shot on goal as well from the tree roots earlier, a few moments ago, and he couldn't quite score on that one, but no one really could, if we're being honest. And we're back in the middle here, in the ruck, gets knocked down in front. Gets handballed out the back, but once again, just a bit of an errant pass into the lap of Shenton. And he gets it ripped away straight away, and Moore picks it up, but he's wrapped up.
So, as you can see, a fairly congested area. You've got McRae, Window, Noble having to do a fair bit more rock. No, Alex Carlotto today, which has had allowed Golden Grove probably to get the majority of clearances. They've got one here today. That was with Pittman. It spills nicely. Kick is up and around. I'm not sure if it was touched. Is that?
I think they've got that through. The umpires are talking about it. Oh, no. The umpire has come back and called a free kick here, it looks like, to the debutant.
Oh, he's a redhead. Okay. Oh, that's... Hang on. Hang on. Okay, I probably called Kenyon getting a couple touches agony. I'm going to apologise. I thought Sacred Heart had 1 redhead in defence, that being Brad Agnew. Now they've got 2. That just isn't fair, folks. But Sacred Heart do have it. More to McRae onto Hilliard. Now to the centre wing where Noble has to go down. Couldn't quite pick it up. Shenton hand pass looking for Ingram. He goes to ground and gets flattened in the process. And it will be a stoppage. It's fun calling footy with a monitor again.
It makes it a little easier, especially when we are actually
here.
We're almost in the forward pocket here for the Shockers. So moving the ball by hand, they're looking to get it down this way. Just pump a ball along the wing, but first to it here, Golden Grove is the captain, getting knocked over the boundary line. Pittman. Ball's still in play here, so Hilliard able to keep it in. Eventually does trickle over.
Should have had a very good half time. I retrieved my car, no parking ticket attached, and now it's all very legal.
That's good.
So I'm feeling much better.
Much more relaxed Phil Herden, and that's what we like. Gets surged back in by the boundary umpire. Hilliard once again underneath, but wrapped up in a tackle there by Pittman. So going to be balled up once again. Very stoppage heavy as the second quarter started as well, Phil.
Yeah. First quarter was the free flowing one for the moment, and yet another stoppage. So right now, Sacred Heart 8 goals, 5. They were 7-5 at half time, and Sacred Heart have not added to their score. Oh, we got. Okay, James. Yeah, I know. I know. Bin chicken last year. We got magpies versus those little murder birds or something they're called.
Oh, what was he doing? I reckon he had a little bug in his mouth as well
That's it.
there.
Feeding time. Feeding time at Sacred Heart. So, yeah, anyway. Back to the footy. Oh, what about the hand pass from McRae? Was looking inboard, hand passed outbound, and unfortunately...
What a grab that was.
And no mark. Jump ball.
So they're going to say, and I think it's probably fair, they both had a hand on it, but you've got to pay it one way or other, don't you?
I like the fact that Ingram got up and was smiling about it. Not always the response you'll get in that situation. Rupina is trying to escape with the footy, no such luck. Rupana from Rupina spent some time with the North Adelaide under 16s. Rupina, I think, is up in the Whyalla vicinity. Well, it's a little bit of a rugby game at the moment. Is it the Lions and the Australia and New Zealand working together?
That's right, yes.
I'm not sure what's weirder, the British Lions coming together or Australia and New Zealand on the same rugby union side. Ingram, all alone in the goal square, plays goalkeeper. Swings it across. And taken out of bounds by Agnew. Will be a throw-in.
So over the boundary line here, and neither side able to get really any uncontested ball here in the last, really the whole quarter, especially the last 5 minutes. We did see a goal earlier from Pascoe, but it's just been a lot of this, hacking out of the contest, just going into space and falling back and taking the mark. Did well there, Agnew. Underneath, gets smothered though, so more of this scrappy play. They just have to chip a ball to the outer side, and good mark taken by Blades. Handballs the ball off, and Hable looking to go to work, sends a long ball inside forward 50. Look at him hunting there once again, so handball out the back, and the Shockers have to get to work. Did well to turn the ball over, but they're still with it here, Golden Grove, chipping the ball out there through Pittman. Comes out the back, he's still with it, moving the ball by hand. 70 metres from goal. Either side able to get any valuable ball movement. Chipping ball over the top and just touch before it went over the boundary line.
Important touch, because that would have been last disposal or out of bounds on the full. Had it not have been touched. Important for Golden Grove to try and bottle it up and get a score here. As I said, the pressure is sort of, to me, on them a little bit to get a little bit of a buffer before heading into the final quarter. McRae, hand pass back and forth with Lindo. Free kick, play on. Okay, here comes Sacred Heart. Comes down our part of the world to Francis. He runs off of Simon. Thumb from behind by Shen. I mean, we're thinking of... What a tease. Is all I can really say. Come and tackle me. No, you don't. Thinking about the Archies already, and gee, Shenton's got to be up there. Pascoe's got to be up there. You reckon they might get some votes in the high five e-bikes if it stays as it is with Golden Grove getting the chocolates? They have it on the wing, and they're going to go towards 50. There he is. He's Mark. He can have a shot for 5 here.
That's my blue car in the background. Do you reckon I'm safe?
I reckon, well, yeah. I'm just looking, no parking ticket there either, which is good to see.
I'm good.
You had a fair walk back to it, though.
First time here, wasn't sure where to park.
Okay. First time you've been here?
First time.
Okay. Welcome to Sacred Heart. It's a little unique. As is Pascoe. Oh. Look at that for a shot. A handful. In more ways than one. He's got 5.
What a ripping kick, and just did not deviate. When we did call the footy at Masters a few weeks ago, you told me how we watch the goal umpire. You make sure they don't move. And he did not need to move a muscle. Look at him.
All he had to do was open his eyes.
Just as dead as a log. Don't need to move when Lachlan Pascoe's lining him up. So, what a kick. 5 goals already for him. He is absolutely dominating. 5 out of their 9. And I mentioned before, 5.5 goals a game he's averaging in the last 6 weeks. He's now out to 51 goals. So, just incredible work there for Lachlan Pascoe.
He had a 18-goal lead in the leading goal kicker in Div 1. I'm not sure if Haliburt's kicked 5 for Salisbury North. We'll probably check on that later. Sacred Heart need a goal. Hilliard has put him forward. But the Golden Grove D has stood up pretty well. Pittman again, off on the link man. Into the middle. Some quick hands. Finds Ingram. Finds, is that you know who? It is. From 51. He used to be able to kick it to himself. Instead he's got Slater who got it and then got upended. It's a behind.
You know what he probably should have done from 55? Try and pump it through once again. Why not?
Why not? Well, wins, yeah, maybe. I guess they did the right thing. 9-6-60 to 5-5-35. That is a 25-point margin, which I think Sacred Heart will have to do something about this quarter before turning for home.
So the Shockers really need to respond here, you'd feel. They move it through Simons, extra handball off, and he's been quite good, Beau McRae, one of the Shockers' best, no doubt. Quickly wrapped up in a tackle there as Josh Ingram in defence. So finally, the Shockers get a forward 50 stoppage. Every time they've gone inside their forward 50 in this third quarter, it's come straight back out. The Ruckman go at it. Brilliant tap there behind, snapping around his body. Brilliant goal. Fantastic ruck craft there, and Clayton Simons polishes off his first goal here of the afternoon. 17 for the season, and watch the replay here. I just want to watch the ruckman here, Phil. Just did a fantastic job off. I think it was deliberate. So ball went up, and yep, just flicking off the back of the hand, as easy as you like.
Yep. Too accurate to be anything but a planned play, and Noble the ruck should give him the score assist. As many of the Sacred Heart old scholars who might have played earlier today. What happened in the Bees earlier today, do you remember?
Didn't quite get it. It was a little hectic here to start out.
It was a little hectic. I can probably find out.
Absolutely we can. As once again in the ruck. Golden Grove looking to get the clearance through Glenn. Just dropped the ball there, but umpire says we're going to let it play on. The goal kicker getting the clearance out through Simon. So on the half back line, kicked 10 goals for the season. Had 7 versus Broadview a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I was there for that. He got the Archies for that. You can't ignore 7 goals.
Absolutely you can't. A very good choice there for you as Hunter Window takes the mark. He was a 2024 Sample Premier with Glenelg, Hunter Window. A little chipping ball out here to McAuliffe. So going long inside forward 50, dangerous position, sitting underneath it and taking the grab. Kookaburras just retreat so comfortably. Popping a long ball over the top. Now the Shockers looking to go back inside forward 50 here through Agnew in this week and just escorted it over the boundary line.
Yeah, unfortunately, the scores, finals from the Bs and the Cs, I can tell you every other game in Div 1 except what happened here earlier. Right. Yet to be posted.
Everything's going quite nicely here now. It's a beautiful, look at the crystal clear display here, of course, for your match of the round. Just fantastic as umpire's going to hurl it back up. Getting knocked down in front once again. And the Shockers look to get to work. They've had a fair bit of the ball now as Simons goes inside forward 50. Just hacks one around his body. Gets knocked down there and ball in dispute, but the Kookaburras moved the ball through hand. Did well to get it through to Simon. Wrapped up in a tackle quickly though is Henry McAuliffe, and around 60 metres out from the Shockers' goal. Another ball up.
Got some intense footy there. Some handballs in some pretty close positions. Cavallaro eventually made the tackle on McAuliffe. And they're off. Hoskins has gone with the long kick over the back of Pascoe. So it's interesting that his opponent is the first gamer. That's a very interesting choice. As it spills from can't miss territory.
Too easy.
Just need to tell he can't miss. And that was Kane Blades. He's got his first goal of the afternoon. And now Margin is almost out to 5 goals.
Just done that quite.
Look at that tackle.
Yeah, solid tackle. And you just mentioned it there just before the goal was kicked. And it is interesting, isn't it? Kai Kenyon, not only first gamer playing on Pascoe right now, I don't know if that was just a mismatch. I think if they had it on footage there, they might go, maybe we should put someone else on him. But first game, but also given away half a foot.
Maybe you just, I don't know, maybe they don't have anybody. But, you know, welcome to the A grade, son. Right now, some of the midfield are getting that lesson. Josh Glenn, who was tackled, hiding the ball. So quick movement by Sacred Heart, looking for Francis in plunks. He's marked in front of Lan Simon. Francis has 2. Turns his back. I saw Sean Jacko Jackson, for those that have been following us for years. He was part of the original crew before he got the coaching bug again. He was down here. Good to catch up with Jacko at half time. And one of the things he said was the Edgemont players turn their back when they take a mark and goal kicking. And that again, in range you think, and it falls well short.
Again, just a little dinky kick. Maybe not just kicking through the footy enough. And
that's 3. That's a reasonable circle size to say maybe there is a breeze out there.
Out on the full there, Shenton able to try and fool the umpire. So a little chipping kick across here from Hildyard. That was brilliant from Cam Shenton. We know you're experienced, but don't try and fool us. Going inside forward 50 into a dangerous position, about 25 metres out. Body's going falling to the floor and is right onto that, the umpire, saying that you push right into the back of Mitchell Slater.
He's happy to have it. Not in any particular rush, why would you? You've got a 5-goal lead. 29 points is your margin, 9-6 to 6-5.
19.
19. Jeez.
That's all right. That's what we're better with our voice.
Of course they did. Simon's kicked the goal. Okay, so I'm back with it now.
So inside forward 50. Gonna launch at it. Brilliant grab. Once again, Harrison Francis. This time a little closer, but he still has to kick through the footy. But forget the kick. That was a ripping grab, just leading up at the footy. He got up high, was able to pull it down from the clouds. This one straight in front, Phil.
You would hope he'll make the distance here.
Because we've seen, 3 now. One coming from Francis just a minute ago, where we've been in that 30 to 40 metre range and just hasn't quite got the distance. Not only just missing, really dropping it at about the 10 metre mark. So this one, he does kick through it a little bit more, but pulls it through left. So maybe gave it a little bit too much distance and got rid of a bit of accuracy through for a minor score.
Oh, I'm totally befuddled now because like that went, that kick went about 50 metres. Just the accuracy of the issue. Back on the half-back flank. Umpire will come in and sort everybody out. 20 minutes gone of the third quarter. It has been Golden Grove's quarter. They have kicked 3 goals to 1. And they're not done just yet. The window went left, he went right. Decided left was the best choice, having sorted out both. We basically do what you call Hector the safety cat. Do you remember Hector the safety cat growing up, Lewis?
No, not in my time.
He used to teach kids how to cross the road. You look to the left, you look to the right, you look to the left again, and you cross the road, which is...
There you go.
What window did.
I'm more of what's his name, Jared the Giraffe type operator.
Oh, yeah, the Giraffe man.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Road safety, pretty important. We're back in the middle with Moore in the T-saucer. Runs off his opponent. One-on-one contest inside 50. That one clearly won by Aidan Thatcher. So just says, let's all calm down and have a cup of tea. Plays the percentages. Heading out to the other side, except Glenn lost his footing. Moore's kicked out. Might have been partially smothered by Glenn, I suspect. Pittman's got it, got up, got tackled again. And that was long enough to be holding the ball. Sacred Heart just the one goal. Into time on, Lewis. They're running out of time to do something about this margin.
Yes, they are. So they need to go inside forward 50 and at least trim one off. And even two, they'd be incredibly happy. More going inside forward 50. Climbing up, trying to take another clunking mark, but couldn't rip it down this time. And just chipping a ball across and couldn't quite get it through. Goes right across the face there, Rapana. So, had an opportunity there, but just wasted. So Shenton here, as the umpire's going to have a conversation. I'm going to say it went through for a behind there, Phil. I didn't think it went through for a behind, but we're going to trust them.
I mean, the goal umpire might have been, he had about the same view of it we did, just from the other angle.
So Shenton goes long down the line. Big booming kick. Falls in front, but the umpire's seen something he doesn't like and he's going to call there was a bit of a block there going the way of Golden Grove. So Dodd just surveys his options. Tries to chip a little ball. Didn't look like a clean drop pump, but got into the lap of Josh Abel. Just off one step, just puts a high ball into forward 50. Wow, climbed up, nearly ripped it down. Was Kane Blades. Just about ripped it down.
That was 95% a spectacular mark. Just that little extra millisecond to hang on to it.
He was sideways, Phil.
Yeah.
As they go long down the line now over the back, Shenton gets the fist, but here go the Shockers. They're able to get out the back of the pack. Moving by hand, extra handball over to McRae. They move into the corridor. Bit of a grub of a handball now, turns the ball over. Habel tried to handball it off to Simon. Simon just dives back and gets it out of the contest, but it's going to give the advantage to the Shockers to go inside forward 50. Rapana now chasing. Ball's in dispute underneath. Picked up well by Simon. Clean pickup. Diving to the floor once again, but they have a chance in front of goal. They have to snap around. Well smothered. Underneath now. The Shockers have numbers. Just snaps around the body. Touched. Couldn't quite get it through. It was messy.
Can't believe it. He was in the goal square by himself and no one could get him the ball.
So Golden Grove now to clear, and that's late in this third quarter. A goal there would have really got Shockers up and about, Phil.
The Richie Benno football game, the margin is 22. Sacred Heart have kicked remember at the end of the first quarter they had a peppering and they kicked a range of behinds? Well, they've done the same here. Kicked the last three. 25 margin now, 22. Two Golden Grove players spoil. Waiting for it was Window. Here's the bounce! It's true! A critical goal into time on of the third quarter to Hunter Window, the former Tiger Premiership player and Foss Phantom Jr. And with that, we're back to a 16-point margin.
Brilliant roving. That's the product of pressure. They were going inside forward 50. Look at them. They're loving it there on the sidelines. They were obviously waiting for the thumbs up there as well. Brilliant work there with the camera.
Our mobile cameraman is revving up the crowd, inciting them.
Brilliant work by them as well. So, yeah, he's giving them a bit of a pump up. Wants them to get up and about. So, back underway here. But as I was mentioning, really good pressure there in the last few minutes by Shock, and really important goal late here in this third quarter. Phil Hurd.
Reward for effort as the Rocks go to it. Tom Robinson for the Kookaburras, probably the tap down to Xanthopoulos. Dewhurst had the ball within goal kicking range a while ago. Dewhurst hasn't kicked a goal in his 46 games with Sacred Heart. That would have been something if he had it. Bit of a fly from him. I'll tell you what, we're starting to see a game for markers at the moment. Tell you when they grab one, it'll be fantastic. 16 points. Anyone's game for mine. Sacred Heart are not out of this by any stretch. They're known for their finishing. Simons takes that over.
So, 16-point advantage here for the Kookaburras on the outer side. Much of the play here in the second half of this third quarter has been with the Shockers. Still well and truly into this one, but just want to get a little cleaner with the ball. Picked out of the pack there by Beau McRae. Handballs it off to his teammate in window, and he's wrapped up in a tackle quickly by Pittman.
Yeah, the margin's starting to blow out around a couple of grounds. Port District lead Broadview by 44, and Rocks lead Prince Alfred by 45.
So window underneath. Bit of a push in the back there as we go into the last couple minutes here of this third quarter. Gee, a goal would be huge here for the Shockers. Going inside forward 50, just tucked into the flank here. Brilliant mark. Reaching over the top, Jackson Fox. So a little too far out to score. There's the siren. Geez, they would have loved an opportunity there in the last few seconds. But a 16-point advantage here for Golden Grove. You're listening to Lewis McKenna and Phil Herden. Fourth quarter, a huge fourth quarter coming right up, brought to you by Filming Footy. We're going to go to an ad, come back and watch all the fourth quarter action.
Get a quick and easy low-rate car loan from Police Credit Union today.
New 氷結 Vodka, soda, and frozen natural fruit juice. Hello, yes.
We've been housemates for, what, nearly 4 years?
Yep, basically since I started my uni degree and you got your apprenticeship.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's the little things, you know? Like, one of us is always around to house it when the other goes on holiday. And one of us is always ready to help the other out of jam.
I don't know. Yeah, happen again. It's usually me. My HECS debt doesn't leave a lot of room for holidays or working transportation or food. But it's worth all the debt, right?
No.
But what about your debt?
Debt isn't a problem for me. I get paid to learn.
You belong in blue. Apply for a career with South Australia Police.
Div 1 Adelaide Footy League match of the day, and it's living up to the hype here with just a 16-point margin here the way of Golden Grove. They got out to a pretty fast start there in the first quarter. It was actually Shockers kicking the first goal of the game, but they did get out to a 17-point margin at half-time. That did extend out to as far as 4 goals, but they haven't really let them get away. My name's Lewis McKenna. I've got Phil Herden next to me as well, and just off air we were talking about some of the awards that we'll be presenting post-game. You've just found out officially that you'll be doing it. Of course, we had a little bit of a slow start to the afternoon, but of course we've got the magic moment as well for this game.
That's the one that I'm still
we've got a little bit of thinking
about.
to do.
Had Blades held on to that grab, I think that would be
an easy decision. Yeah, that's it. Well, of course, with the ones we do know about, of course, we've got the best on ground. They get a Archie Stongs, but that's not the only thing they walk away with.
They walk away with the Belgravia apparel voucher as well.
And
I believe the Bartley Hotel might have a contribution.
Absolutely.
And we have the Moseley Bar and Kitchen Best Team Man.
Who are you thinking so far for those awards? Well, who's sitting in that position right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's the usual for Golden Grove, and I'm just looking at it purely from a Golden Grove perspective. Pascoe's really, I mean, he's had a hand in 8.
Yes.
Hard to ignore that.
Yep.
And kick 5. You've got Shenton, who's been just absolutely brilliant down in defence. You've got Pittman, who's been a link man everywhere, and Glenn keeps popping up, doing
Absolutely.
great things. So there's your 4, probably for your 3 awards. Pascoe, the only definite, and the fact that I can't link anything into a magic moment at this point.
Hey, we'll have to brainstorm throughout the fourth quarter
And that's
as
being
well.
unfair to Sacred Heart, who could well storm from the clouds, as they did. They were trailing by a similar margin. Round 3, kicked 6-0, I think, to win the game. They won by 4 points last time they met. So I guess whoever leads that charge will be in the mix. But we'll give them to someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll ask some intelligent questions at the end of the game.
I'll throw a couple more names into the best team man and the best on ground as well. When you look at the shockers, I think I've been really impressed with the work of Beau McRae. He's been named in the best players 7 times this year, and it's understandable the way he's playing here. I think obviously we don't have the luxury of having stats at our fingers, but I would dare say he's had at least 20 touches through 3 quarters. He's been amongst it as well, and Clayton Simons has been one that's impressed me for Sacred Heart as well. Done a lot, and as well as chipping in with a goal as well. He's been playing a little bit off the half-back line, even though he has kicked 17 goals for the season. So you see right there the big fella up forward, ready to hopefully pop through a couple more and drag his team over the line if you're a Golden Grove fanatic as well. And
very quickly, what's happening around the rest of the Adelaide Footy League?
Yes,
I told you that it was how far Port District, how far Rocks, the other 2 games. Salisbury North now lead Glenunga by 35. They're pretty much home. St Peter's lead Payneham by 15. That's the close one. We're 16. The crowd has removed themselves from the oval. We are set to rock and roll for the final quarter of our match of the day. Thanks to Filming Footy with your caller, Lewis McKenna.
so right back in the middle. These first 5 minutes are crucial, you think, to who's going to win this contest, as Glenn's wrapped in a tackle underneath there by Ethan Moore. Umpires circling around here, calls holding the ball. So not the first time Glenn's been called for holding the ball in this one. They're hunting him hard. So Moore has a chance to pump him inside forward 50, pops it up into a dangerous position, flying over the top, and maybe just caught a little bit of arm there, did Harrison Francis. So Aidan Thatcher will be credited there with a free kick, as Golden Grove look to retreat.
16 points is not enough of a buffer to play too much keepings off at this stage of the game. Well, that's a long kick and overcooked it. It's something that I do see quite often when I come to this ground, Lewis, is that you don't see a lot of out of bounds. I know we've had a couple on the coastal side, but on that Moreton Bay Fig Eastern side, yeah, it is misjudged. You mentioned before that it's a narrow ground. The central wing really doesn't curve out. It straightens at the half back line and is pretty straight all the way down the centre wing, aligning with the street, I guess. Meanwhile, it's going to be Beau McRae. We mentioned him in dispatches earlier. Big kick. I mean, they're all big kicks in a close game in the final quarter.
Yeah, man on the mark about 48 it looks like from here, so you have to kick this all of about 52.
It's
I reckon.
further away than we think it is.
Yeah, it could be. He's been handy, Beau McRae. 1 goal so far. On his way in. Sitting right behind this. Gives himself a little bit of space, sends it on its way. Looks like it's fading left and is, and goes through for a minor score.
Ditcho could make the distance. Will that be a handy point? Probably not. 16 points going to 15. Sacred Heart would have to kick a lot more for that to be a handy point. What they need is goal. So Glenn has got the kicking in duties. Sends it long to the edge. It's a fairly long ground. I just realised there's a reasonable gap between the 15-metre arc and centre square. Pascoe, and look, the kid won. Well done to Kenyon. Won that battle against Pascoe. To Moore. Okay, they're working it well. This is Gluyas, Joe Gluyas onto Window. Glenn runs interference. Did Glenn just kick the wrong way? Okay. Glory. Effective kick to Davey. That had all the signs like he was lining up for a goal. Anyway, it was effective. That is modern day football, as they keep on telling me. And offhand's out of bounds. 3 minutes gone. Just the one behind to Sacred Heart in this final quarter.
So, can we hurl back in here? Sacred Heart have had a fair bit of the ball to start. It's just about getting the advantages of that, getting it inside forward 50 and converting on their opportunities. Trying to hack around the back, but well defended in the end there by Beau McRae. And again, it trickles over the boundary line through Will McAuliffe. And in fact, actually got a free kick there, so he's going to have a chance to go inside forward 50. Thought about the handball. Just balks around and pops it inside forward 50. Flying up at it, couldn't take the mark there, Simons. Spills to ground, and Golden Grove, the Kookaburras, look to get to work and move it through hands through Hable. Still in dispute here a little bit. They're not out of trouble. Have to hack around their body through the corridor, but intercepted. They go back inside forward 50. Hacking it up towards the goal square. One-on-one battle, falls out the back, and it's going to trickle through for a minor score. So they are peppering the goals here, the Shockers.
Need to convert one though, because if Golden Grove just get one forward and goal, that might be all she wrote. Shenton, so they're changing who's doing the kicking duties, which I think it was Glenn, now Shenton. Picked up by Sanderson, attacking edge of the centre square for Sacred Heart Old Collegians. Too far out score, you would think, to the top of the square, and umpire's whistle's blown. Fox can't believe that whistle wasn't for him. It's for the Kookaburras, out to Pittman. The Magpie already knows the football's coming and is taken off. Pittman's, Pilkington's taken out the arms of Agnew. So a few of their more well-known defenders up the ground, keeping on bottling it in here. Agnew's kick. Oh. Someone just got crushed. I think that was...
Yeah, I think it was Pittman.
Pittman. He's in our discussions regarding the Team Man Award, thanks to the Mosley.
That'll help it.
Well, that's certainly taken one for the team.
Absolutely.
Oh! Audacious but effective. Out in the Slater direction. So, he always gets me. It is Slater, okay. Looking for Pilkington. Bit of blue here. Although the hand pass is straight to Golden Grove. The kick is missed. We're having a couple of turnovers here. I think the team that can stay calm with the ball for a couple of minutes might win this contest. It's right in front of our forward pocket. Simons runs past Pascoe. Aims for goal. Dewhurst marks it before shoulder charging the goalpost. Simons has got hands on his head. Can't believe they got away with that. Of course, Simons, as you said, he kicked 7 against Broadview, and I reckon he kicked 4 at Mitchell Park against Salisbury North. So he probably had the ball, looked at the goal, and thought, right, I'm shooting.
Absolutely, and those poor goalposts have copped a hiding today. So the Kookaburras, one of the best nicknames in footy, it must be said. Cavallaro, McKelvey.
They'd probably be my club I'd support if they weren't so far away from Happy Valley.
And look who it is once again. Pascoe leading up at the footy, creating separation, and poor Kai Kenyon has an absolute task. He was right there behind him, but gives away a lot of size, it must be said. So right in front of us here, Lachlan Pascoe looks to line up his 6th. He heard all that chatter about the Archie's thongs and winning the vouchers and all of that, and he thought, you know, if you're thinking about my captain and Jake Pittman,
well,
I'll tell you.
This is to have an above-average game.
Absolutely.
5.5 in recent times, you said.
So on its way. He's really happy with that. Does it sneak through just over the right-hand side? So through for a minor score, and I believe he's kicked 5 goals 2 here this afternoon.
I love that haircut too.
Oh, very crisp.
Very, very aggressive up the front. Kick comes out. It's going to come straight back. Davies got it. Doesn't want to waste any time. Big thump from the Blues defence. They're all diving on top of it. I really want to be at the bottom of that pack. So with that behind, I think we're back to our three-quarter time margin of 16 points. Oh no, it is 15. Okay. Oh, that's right. The Sacred Heart got 2 behinds. So just behinds thus far. We haven't had a goal as yet in this quarter. It's gone 8.5 minutes. That will suit Sacred Golden Grove just fine. It certainly has been a battle.
Absolutely it has. So underneath, gets tapped down behind there. Good tap from Tom Robinson, but couldn't quite get into the lap of any of his teammates. Simons once again, been busy in this game. Just pumps it up for the Shockers, but it's going to come right back the other way through Ingram. High ball, Simons just loses the ball through the hands of Banwell. And looks like a free kick's being paid here. A bit of a dumping tackle.
Collins. I mean, we're thinking about our magic moment, which is the Bianco magic.
Yes,
maybe
for sure.
look, if it's Golden Grove and they kick the first goal of the final quarter and it seals the deal, maybe that's the magic moment.
Absolutely. I think all of the fun magic moments are still to come here in this game.
Sacred Heart, if they get up, well, it would be probably the goal that puts them in front. They're going to need 3 at the moment.
So Agnew, there was a free kick paid, a few whistles being blown. Has Dewhurst laterally, but decides to go a little longer up the line. And a good mark taken over the top once again. So Simons, he's been busy, especially in this second half. Pumps a long ball inside forward 50. Falls out the back. Rupana snapping around his body as he put it through. Ripping goal. Rupana in for his first. And you mentioned he's only played a few games of A-grade footy, so we'll have to see if that is his first goal.
I'm on it.
Absolutely, I can see you working hard there on the laptop, but it was brilliant entry in from Clayton Simons. You see here on the replay, punch down in front, but the roving was absolutely superb. Snapped it through, so...
First goal at A-grade level. Congratulations, the man they call Reggie.
Well, I reckon you might possibly have a magic moment there, but we'll have to see.
If that leads a massive Sacred Heart Old Collegians comeback. It's now back to 11. Is that 11? No, it's 9.
9. Math's not doing you too fun today.
Not today.
Phil.
Not today.
Absolutely. So, back in the middle here. Umpire to hurl it back up. Ruckman to go at it. A little bit of pressure here for the Kookaburras. They'll desperately want this next one. A little bit of a slinging action.
I mean, so important. The Shock got that first one. They got to get the next one, and then its next goal wins pretty much.
So moving it out through hand once again. Beau McRae going inside forward 50. Just falls off in front, and Glenn and Shenton work together. Little handball out wide. Just snaps around the body. Not really to anyone's advantage here, so the Shockers are getting another opportunity. Window, just a little chip kick around. Running up at it is Hildyard. Underneath there is Hable, but can't really get anything out here. Trying to get ripped out from underneath. And it's going to be a ball up here, around 75 metres out from Shock's goal.
Okay. It's been around this 2 to 3 goal margin. It was 17. Golden Grove led at every change. 17 at the first, 13 at the main, and 16 at the last. But who will lead at the final?
Free kick to Golden Grove here, I think, Phil.
Yeah, I was about to say, everyone not too sure. Now they are. Will come down the line in the looking of the Blades direction. He takes a fairly standard mark compared to what he was trying to pull off before. Pilkington from the T-Saws. Here's the fly, Pascoe. Spills to Slater. And it will be a stoppage. Right in front. This is where this is a danger spot for Sacred Heart. A lot of options for Golden Grove. They can get the ball, including kicking it around the body. Can you can't believe that? When you see the replay, you see that he had Pascoe completely covered. And then Pascoe just fell in his lap. And this is for what? For 6.
For 6. Half a dozen.
Shall we say it's for the Archies? Put the
I think that'll be close. Game wouldn't be done, but I think it'll be close.
Okay. Pascoe comes in. Simon's jumping all around. It makes no difference. That ball is into the car park and halfway to the bay. Pascoe's got 6. Might have a few more. at game's end.
Of course,
That's just the steadier that Kookaburras needed.
you can watch the replay, but wait for the replay, hopefully, of that mark. That was absolutely incredible. Ripping grab that was, and yeah, you see the fans taking it all in here as well. What's turned into an absolutely ripping contest here for the game of the round. Just absolutely incredible game so far we've seen, ebbing and flowing contest. And of course we spoke about the importance of this game, third playing fourth.
Yeah, well, should, when I come back from my interviews, be able to work out a pretty quick ladder. Maybe not percentages, but I'll give you an idea where everybody sits. The Golden Grove were like 8th, I'm pretty sure at one point, before they got their wriggle on. Brinkworth from the middle. Ooh. Slipped as he kicked. Rapana looking for a second goal to add to his first that he kicked a minute. Hand pass out to Payne. Top of the square we go. How can you not give this man a prize?
Absolutely, Shenton's been enormous. Maybe the best team man.
Maybe the best team man, yeah.
As he moves it across to Glenn.
Someone's going to be disappointed.
Absolutely, yeah. You can't reward them all. It's been a strong showing here for Golden Grove, though. 15 points in front. Haven't put it to bed just yet, but...
And if where was the game, you know, if this holds and we've still got 12, 15 minutes to go, it was really one in that stage in the opening quarter where they kicked about 3 or 4 in succession.
Absolutely.
After Sacred Heart. And they just had a buffer that they've been able to maintain pretty well. Glenn a good strong mark. He's off. Looking for Pascoe. He's got a new opponent, I should add, in Sanderson, which is... And similar result, and he's going to go back. He's looking to find a Moreton Bay fig to kick from.
Doesn't have to go quite as far this time.
I suspect this one, based on what we've seen, Lewis, I'm not sure he's going to get the distance. We'll see. Deliberate approach from 48. It's high. It's very high, and it's not going to make the difference.
It was a little too high in the end.
That was more a chip shot than a goal shot. But in the end, it carried a lot. Further than I thought. All right, that margin now, it is 16 points.
So the Shockers go long down the line. Shenton gets a hand on it. Glenn once again. Those two have worked well together so far here. And ripped down in the tackle there was Simon. So... called for holding the ball. Window's going to walk his way up the wing. Go long inside forward 50 and falling back and taking the mark. Henry McAuliffe. So had a couple goals already here. Maybe just on his distance. I'll have to go. Man on the mark I think is around 40 here, Phil. So I have to kick this all about 45 metres.
Unless he's used the boundary line to improve his angle.
So on his way in. Really, really important kick here for the Shockers. Kicks this and they're back to 10. On its way, has the distance covered, no doubt, but just pulls it left through for a minor score. So goal kicking has certainly led them behind. It's a pretty easy equation when you look at it. 8-11 plays 11-8.
At half time, so they were 5-4. So they've kicked 3 goals, 7 in the second half. 7-3. And we've got a tied football game. But it is Golden Grove by the 15, and they have the ball with Pilkington. He'll head to the coast, and that's all.
Great grab.
Nicely done by Blades. I'm still going to be disappointed he couldn't hold on just that little bit longer to that earlier one.
When we talk about, high energy moments, probably still just about takes it. I mean, you wouldn't like to give a voucher for someone for a missed mark, but it was nearly that good, Phil.
Nearly was.
So Hurl back in here, doing a brilliant job, the boundary umpires here. They always do. Down underneath and handball off to Glenn. He just pops a high ball up inside forward 50. Wants his forwards to do the rest of the work. He's down in front of Blades there for a moment. Ripped down in a tackle. Fantastic work by Agnew, and look at that. They bloody go... Oh, there's a bit of words between two Shock players there, it seemed.
Yeah.
Bowen Payne and Darcy Gluyas having a bit of a conversation. They weren't happy with each other. So they chip the ball across. Dewhurst just moves it by hand. And the debutant goes long out of defensive 50. Sends a long ball up, but pulling down the grab here for the Kookaburras. Ripping pack mark taken down there by Xanthopoulos.
Yeah, so they've moved the defence around. Dewhurst is back on Pascoe, which is the matchup you thought in terms of defensive nous and experience made the most sense. But with McRae, probably not about Shock's defence at the moment, but they can actually can they get to the 11 goals they're going to need to get to win this game? Right now they're on 8. They need 3 and the clock is starting to get away from them. 19 minutes gone. And Golden Grove are not in any particular rush. They're moving it forward, but deliberately. It's with Ingram. Here's a runner. Oh, there's your magic moment! Right there.
Jed
Total
Banwell.
and utter courage.
That was incredible from Jed Banwell.
It's credit to Donnybrook. But that's going to the highlights tape as Banwell heads towards the goal. Golden Grove just got to be a little bit careful. They don't give this away, because if Banwell is still with us and he looks to be fine and kicks the goal, this game is all she wrote.
What an incredible mark that was. That was unbelievable. We love Speckies, but we love that sort of stuff even more, and get to watch this replay. Absolutely fantastic
We'll let
mark.
you know if he kicks it in a sec. I reckon we'll just about get there. Yeah. Well done, Mr. Producer Darcy. He kicks the goal. I think we've sorted a magic moment voucher.
Oh, and players knocked down after it as well. Nick Collins just got floored, so they may get another opportunity.
There's a yellow card. So someone's day is done. This is where you remember that the players do share the same race. Isn't the emotion? And there's a red. Okay.
So yeah, that's Kane Blades getting sent off with a red card.
Change rooms are the other way. Sorry. So what have we got? We've got 1 yellow, 1 red. Both players can be replaced. You'll know, I guess, to be honest, that could well have been another shot to Golden Grove after the goal, you know. Because we haven't had the bounce, because it was a goal.
So I do find it interesting, though, and this may just be a league rule, but the ball was going to go back into the middle. Sorry, as Banwell gets the interception, just punches it away. Pascoe and Banwell work together. Gets hunted down, lost the ball. That should be called holding the ball. It wasn't. Gets the handball off. They go back in towards goal and couldn't quite get it down. Just want to talk about... So it should have gone back into the middle, right?
Yep.
But then because of the red card, Shock get the ball back in the defensive goal square. That's a bit rough, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes on things like that, you get a 50-metre penalty. It's all... I think the good thing is that with that goal kicked by Banwell, the actual result is now academic. So the discussion became academic. Unless Sacred Heart kicked 6 goals, they try and go forward, but it's been called back, and it's getting a little emotional here.
Yeah, ugly, I think is the right word.
Yeah.
As they try to get it back to him and spray the kick.
Look, Banwell's mark was ultra courage. I don't think that Kenyon did much wrong.
No.
Okay, I mean,
2 players
Banwell's
going
running right at him to take the mark. There's going to be some contact. But after that, it kind of degenerated a bit. Anyway, I'll try and interview some winners, and I'll try and stay out of trouble when I go down there, which I'll be doing very shortly. So hang on, as we go down and the mark's been taken. This is Francis, I reckon. Harry Francis. Okay. Can I just run a scenario past you?
Absolutely, we can.
Okay, Pascoe best on ground, 6 goals, couple of assists. Kick the sealer for mine. As Francis kicks 1, but keeps them alive. Magic moment has to be Jed Banwell. And I reckon best team man, Cam Shenton.
Yeah, absolutely. Cam Shenton has been enormous in this game, Phil, and don't disagree with any of that at all. Of course, they gave us the moment we were looking out for. Jed Banwell was an unbelievable mark a moment ago. Kicked the goal, put him in the position. Not absolutely done for here. 23 minutes gone in this one. There have been a few goals here in the last quarter, so a little bit of time on. They would have to kick a goal.
So we're back to where we were, weren't we? 16 points, which is where we were at three-quarter time. So, in essence, 23 and a half minutes gone, almost the entirety of the quarter, and Sacred Heart are where they started this quarter. Looking ahead at next week, Sacred Heart travelled to Payneham, who will have Ben Hunt there for the full week. Seems to have given St. Peter's a reasonable run this week. Golden Grove, well, out of the frying pan into the fire. This win will maybe get them to third, I think. And they'll play top of the table Port District at Harpers Field. That'll be a big one, and that's where I'm planning to be. Hopefully we'll stay there and get to call that game, because it should be a crackerjack one.
Absolutely. So just a minor score there through from McAuliffe. A goal there would have made it really interesting, Phil. But still just in a 15-point deficit, and you want to have it in this man's hands, Cam Shenton.
Yep.
Been absolutely enormous. You mentioned before, best team man, no doubt about it. And he'll get a handy voucher at the end of this game as he pumps the ball out of defensive 50, but it's going to come back. Darcy Gluyas taking the mark, just balks around the mark, goes back onto his preferred left, inside forward 50, and just sprays the kick out left through for another minor score. So peppering the goals, 9-13 now for them. So Shenton just very slow about it. He's not going to rush this at all.
What, flat footy?
Yeah, they're saying that it's... Oh, no, they want Glenn.
Okay. In other words, whatever takes up the most time we can legally manage. Wins kick as we tick over 25 minutes with the margin 14 points. 9-13 to 12-9. Sacred Heart have had the one more scoring shot. And Lewis, it has been a pleasure calling you. Don't finish without me, because I'll get some final scores in the ladder, but I'm off for some on-field duties.
Absolutely, I know you'll do a brilliant job. Phil Herden, brilliant to have you with us as well. Hey, you got to back yourself in, Phil. You've been thrown into this role last minute, and we know you'll do a brilliant job for us. And this game will draw to a close. 14 points in front here, Golden Grove. So, ball up here, just inside forward 50 here for Sacred Heart. Moving the ball out through hand now. And goes close to the boundary line. In fact, goes out on the full. So the Shockers will get a chance to go inside forward 50 once again. And of course, they look to move it quickly. They go long inside forward 50, trying to climb over the top and rip down the mark there. Was Kelton, couldn't quite rip it down. Ball still in dispute. Turning his way through, snapping around his body close to goal, but just taking the mark. Maybe just went the required distance into the lap of Aidan Thatcher. And he is going to take all the time he possibly can. Siren really should go at any moment. Still with 3 goals required here for Sacred Heart. And another mark taken, so they keep piling on the pressure. Dewhurst can't waste too much time. Marked about 55 metres out, so pumps another one long down there. In a tricky position here for both sides, just spills down in front. Trying to pick it up there underneath there was Will McAuliffe. Wrapped up in a tackle and couldn't quite get anything out of there, the Shockers. So close to goal here for Golden Grove. Another ball up. Gets knocked down in front and just thumped through for a minor score. Huge fist and eventually pushed through by Jake Pittman. So 9-14 here for Sacred Heart. 68 plays 12-9, 81. I trust you enjoyed our match of the day as well, and it has lived up to the hype. Golden Grove look like they're going to take the win. 4th place for them on the ladder coming into this one, coming up against a 3rd place Sacred Heart side. They now draw level with them on wins, but they do have a healthier percentage, so they do jump them on the ladder. And depending on the rest of the results around the competition today, Port District are going to win their game. And there's the final siren. A 13-point victory for Golden Grove. They just out-hustled Sacred Heart. It was a bit scrappy there towards the end of that one. It was including a red card going the way of Kane Blades, but a really huge victory there for Golden Grove. They take the win by 13 points, and an impressive victory for them. Now moving up to at least third on the ladder, depending on what goes on around them, of course. There's a close game happening between second place St. Peter's. They're currently up by 2 goals, so they should take the win there, barring any late charge home by Payneham Norwood Union. But really impressive there. We can go through all the goal kickers for this game as well. We'll start with the losing side here, Sacred Heart at home. 3 goals for Harrison Francis, was probably one of their best in front of goal. Had a couple more opportunities at goal, but just left them a little short. Henry McAuliffe with 2. Hunter Window converted on a goal as well, the 2024 Samford Premier. Jackson Fox with 1. Rupana with 1, his first goal in league footy. And Clayton Simons chipping in with a goal as well, as we look at some of our full-time highlights. And brilliant work there by Golden Grove. We've seen the likes of Pasco as well. He had 6 goals. He's going to be our player of the game as well. It was an easy decision to make for Phil Hurden. Nick Collins with 1. Kane Blades with 1. Josh Glenn with 2. And Jed Banwell with 2 as well. Just absolutely incredible work from the Golden Grove side. Just converting on goals left, right and centre. When they had the opportunity, it was a stoppage-heavy game. And both teams cracking into the contest, but they were a little cleaner with the ball when the game was still in the balance, it must be said. And they had to switch about 3 or 4 different defenders onto Lachlan Pascoe, and he was just far too strong in the end. And you see there the sort of goal-kicking routine he goes through. He's just such a handy player. And he now moves to 52 goals on the season as well. I mentioned so much throughout the call that 5.5 goals per game in the last 6 weeks has just been absolutely incredible. Some handy players for Sacred Heart, it must be said as well. Harrison Francis kicked 3, was really impressive. I was really impressed, didn't kick a goal, but Beau McRae out of the midfield there, number 29 for Sacred Heart, was probably their best player on the ground, I would have thought. Just dominated in the contest, but wasn't enough to get his team over the line. Of course, a chance as well to thank our sponsors, High Five e-bikes. Classic Clashes, Archies, and of course some Archies thongs will go to the player of the game as well. Dartfish, custom by ORTC, and Kimberley Accommodation Group as well. Just brilliant work from them, and we've got Phil down there looking for our award winners. Jed Banwell, one of those award winners, he had an enormous mark there in the 4th quarter, running back with the flight, drew a 25 metre. You should see the highlight of that in a moment, no doubt. It was absolutely unbelievable. So, as both teams march off the ground here, the implications in this season here, mentioned coming into this game, they were 2-5 in their last 2-3 in their last 5 games. Sacred Heart now moving to 2-4 in their last 6. They actually started 6-0, so it's just turned on its head this season. As Phil Hurden looks to get our 3 award winners in for some presentations as well, and did a fantastic job getting down there as well. So it's going to be Jed Banwell down there for, of course, the moment of the match. He was absolutely unbelievable. Cam Shenton for the team man, and of course the big fella up forward, Lachlan Pascoe, was just absolutely incredible. You still see these highlights rolling. Jed Banwell there drawing the high tackle. He was really impressive up forward. Just a handy player. Jed Banwell has kicked 11 goals on the season after getting 2 here this afternoon. Just really impressive work for him, and you get to see his work right on cue. But getting the players down there right now ready for an interview, and looks like Phil Hurden has them all lined up. We'll just wait for the cue to say that we're absolutely ready to go, and yeah, see the highlights still rolling here. Absolutely fantastic. So boundary umpires doing a brilliant job as well throughout this whole game. So it looks like we're ready to go down there with Phil Hurden. We're going to throw it down to you for our post-game awards.
Thank you, Lewis. Yeah, look, we could have given away 18 prizes in today's game. Plenty of heroes here for the Kookaburras. But let's start with our BOG, who wins the Belgravia apparel. We'll get the Archie's footwear and also the Bartley voucher. Lachlan Pascoe, you're on fire, mate. 6 goals and a couple of brilliant assists, smothers, tackles. You're a man possessed today.
I just try and do my part for the team, and fortunate enough to get on the end of a few at the end. But
So just trying to build, get more involved defensively, and then offense comes off of that. So just trying to do the team thing and really emphasise it from there.
Final quarter, we're sort of scratching. What's our magic moment today? And up steps Jet Banwell, takes the most courageous mark. That then had a bit of after effect, got a bit emotional after all that with the players. How did you find that mark, and how are you?
All good, mate. Just team first footy is what we talk about all the time, so I had to put myself in the hole and, happened to hold on to it, and it was lucky it went through in the end. So.
And that prize thanks to Bianco, and of course, best team man, Cam Shen. Every time I see you play, you are just unpassable at defence. Kookaburra's on the rise. You've got Port Districts next week. Probably no fear from your side.
No, I think we're playing some good footy. The team's starting to connect and play the way we want. So, hopefully we'll continue this going into finals.
All right, Cam, Lachlan, Jed, thank you so much. Back to the broadcast booth.
We've got the full-time highlights here as well. Brilliant work down there by Phil Hurd, and fantastic job with all of our award winners. See that big thud there on the goalpost. But, brilliant work by Phil Hurd, and, of course, presenting all those awards, and much deserved there. Lachlan Pascoe, 6 goals, was just absolutely enormous. And he keeps that mark ticking over, like I mentioned, 52 goals in the season. This man right here, Harrison Francis, was quite impressive as well for his game, converting on 3 goals as well, of course. Coming back from Glenelg's reserves, just his second game of the season. So 3 goals here this afternoon, his first 3 goals of the Adelaide Footy League season, as well as Phil Hurden joins us back in the booth as well. And brilliant work done by Phil. He'll pop his headset on in a moment, and we'll be able to just talk about his not only this fantastic game that we've watched, but his brilliant interviewing skills as well. Phil, that was fantastic. I don't know what you were so worried about.
Bit out of practice as well. If it's what I'm worried about. Don't do that in your normal Div 1 games. But anyway, I'll see if I can give you some final scores around the grounds.
Absolutely. Let's go right into them as the full-time highlights roll.
Yeah. Golden Grove's opponent next week, league-leading Port Districts. They stay atop the ladder, 13-11-89. Broadview, Zip and 12, 5-1-31. I think they had 3 goals at quarter time, just 2 for the rest of the game. Ross Trevor and Prince Alfred, it was a 2-point comeback win the last time they met. This time it's, 75-point win to Rocks. A percentage booster always helps. 16-16, 112. Prince Alfred 5-7-37. Salisbury North and Glenunga, fair to say the Rams season is done. Salisbury North staying in touch. 15-10, 100 to the Hawks. 10-8-68 to the Rams. And the final one, and kudos to Paynham, who would have been severe underdogs in this one. But with new coach Ben Hunt, they made it close, but Spock got the chocolates. St Peter's Old Collegians at home, 8-13-61. Paynham 6-13-49. The ladder, thank you, Lewis. Still got Port District on top with 10 wins. St Peter's in outright second now with 9 wins. Now this is where it gets crazy. Rocks, Golden Grove and Sacred Heart. That's 3rd, 4th and 5th, all with 8 wins. Salisbury North are 7-5 and are out of the 5 on 7 wins.
Must be said, Sacred Heart from 3rd down to 5th just this afternoon.
Yeah, just on that result. I think Golden Grove were 4th and maybe stayed there, and Rocks jumped them with their percentage booster. Yep. It's a race in 6. Now the other half is for relegation. Glenunga with 4 wins, percentage 47.8. Prince Alfred out of relegation at the moment with 3 wins, 44.2. Paynham in relegation, 9, 3 wins, percentage 41.3. So what's that? About 3%, just under. And Broadview, they're a long way from safety.
Yeah, writing's on the wall, unfortunately, for the Broadview Tigers. But being able to see all of our full-time highlights, and once again, a chance to thank all of our sponsors here, High Five e-bikes, Classic Clashes, Archies as well, and some Archies going to the player of the game there as well. Dartfish, custom by ORTC, and Kimberley Accommodation Group. And I don't know what you were so scared about down there, Phil. I thought you did absolutely. I was like,
they're all big grown men.
I was wondering if there was going to be.
That was a highlight.
That was a highlight. It was brilliant work
The
down
Magpie
there.
won. You'd be happy with that.
Well, yes, I would be, but there we are. So it was a brilliant game here, Phil Herden, and I wonder if there was any Channel 7 scouts down there watching your interview skills, because you did a fantastic job.
I did. I have my share of boundary running. It's okay. Thank you, Liz. You've been wonderful to work with today. Just might mention the games next week. Rocks are hosting Broadview on base of today. How Far Rocks. Prince Alfred are hosting Salisbury North. Salisbury North trying to stay in touch with the finals. Prince Alfred trying to stay out of relegation. Glenunga and Spock at Webb Oval, where I think Glenunga have not had a good record at home this year. Think Spock. Payneham and Sacred Heart. So you'd think Sacred Heart get back on board there. And the big one, game of the round for mine. Harpers Field. These mighty Kookaburras. Well, look, that'll be 6 in a row they're looking for, hosting Port District.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's it's a big matchup coming up next week, and between all those sides, and really it's getting a little concerning here for Sacred Heart as this season rolls on, of course, as well. But of course, you've been watching the game of the week. It's been super fun with you, Phil Herden. It's always a joy to call with you.
Let's do it again sometime. Maybe with a little more notice.
Yeah, a little more preparation, but we did an absolutely fantastic job. I think for our game of the week next week, of course, the main man, Lockie Gould, will be back in the seat, and hopefully he's feeling all right. So if you're watching at home, Lockie Gould, we've kept your seat warm, and you'll be back with all the action next week. Well, a really fun game of footy here to call here this afternoon, and a ladder-shaping result in the end. It was a win to Golden Grove. That'll see us through to the end of today's coverage. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Lewis McKenna. Phil Herden with me, doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, footy fans, and good afternoon.
Let's leave you with a song.